Hello, everyone, and welcome to coverage of the 2026 eHockey World Cup, day number 3, our second broadcast of this amazing event. Thank you all for joining us here today. My name is Brandon Bigsby, and alongside me, my broadcast partner, Peter Novara, better known as Jack Flack. Peter, how are you doing today, man? We have got great games on tap today. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to get it rolling.
Well, I'm excited too. It's hockey time, and we have the World Cup starting for real, also in the real world, in the multiverse of whatever. So, but we have the e-hockey equivalents here now, and yeah, I'm looking forward to be commenting together with you for the first time. Also, that's also a thrill.
Yeah, man. I mean, we were talking a little bit before we went live. We've seen each other in the community broadcasting in the past. So, really, really cool. Something that's so great about an event like this is that people from different countries and different backgrounds coming together to make this thing happen. Obviously, our amazing producer behind the scenes, Sopoli, making everything happen here as well. We also want to make sure we shout out our amazing, amazing partners who are powering this event, SportsGamer GG and LeagueGaming.com. But, Peter, we have two really fun matchups on tap here today. Some pretty critical matchups. And I know it's just day 3, but really, really big in terms of points as we will see Switzerland going up against Austria for our first 2 sets of games. And then our second matchup, a rematch of a group stage game last season, Germany going up against Norway. And as you mentioned, this group has already gotten into play. So these points absolutely critical for all 4 of these squads.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot, and Norway is really looking strong, and they can actually, if they win one game tonight, they will be into the finals. Yeah, you can see here they've been really busy, and well, and what we saw that was really interesting also was the Switzerland Germany game that they took one each. So well, anything can happen. I think we said Norway and Germany. We thought would be our favorites for this group, but anything can happen. Norway's strong. They just need one more win, more or less. So
Yeah, and obviously there were some changes within the format compared to last year's tournament, but 3 of these teams were in the same group last season. They were in Group C. Germany and Norway were the 2 who advanced with 23 and 22 points respectively. Switzerland just 4 points outside that last wild card spot. So if there are Austria in the mix, who some people said could maybe be a sleeper, interesting to see how this group is kind of taking shape, and Switzerland taking that step up a bit. We're going to have to wait and see if they can further help their chances here with a couple of big wins today. Is Let's take a quick bit of a closer look there at that group. And Peter, I'm going to ask you, man, what does stand out to you when you look at these 4 teams and where they stand coming into today?
I think what didn't stand up was Norway being where they are now. But that Switzerland is this good. Well, wouldn't bet on it. But hey, more things, more what you call it. Yeah, more things that have gone wrong for a team which says, "Oh, we're going to be beat. It's going to be easy." Yeah, well, you shouldn't say anything until the fat lady has sung its last chord. So yeah. No, but
Yeah, and
I think it's Norway. It's where it should be, but Germany. That could be a scary game.
Yeah, we will see Germany and Norway at 21 CST, so a little bit later on in our broadcast here today. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But first, we have Switzerland facing off against Austria. And as we mentioned, Switzerland being a team that has kind of stepped up, has surprised some people. Austria, on the other hand, you see 0 points so far. So they are going to be coming in desperate to get some points here today. As remember, the 2 top teams in this group make it into the playoffs. So still plenty to fight for below that number 1 line where Norway sits right now.
Yeah, and I mean that matchup they played wasn't. I think it was 3-1 and 3-2 or something like that. So it's not that was just played bad, but they need, I think, a better defense and maybe some people in the front scoring more goals. I think.
Absolutely. As we do have a lot of great broadcasts coming up, as we had a great broadcast on Tuesday with an amazing job from Davos and company. And now today we have a broadcast going on, but make sure you come back here on Saturday and Sunday, 2 broadcasts coming up. as we will start to see Group A start to take shape. A few other of our teams that have not gotten the play so far, as you saw a couple of zeros in there. But as we mentioned, these teams starting to get these games underway, and we're starting to see each group really take shape. As you do take a look at Group A there, a lot of your heavy hitters, Canada, Finland, Sweden, and the USA, all four of those teams are locked into the playoffs, so they'll be mainly jockeying for seeding, but that's going to be huge in terms of the playoff matchup you get and that pivotal home ice advantage that each country wants to have as well.
Yeah, I don't think you should just say, "Oh, we are already in." So no, I think these games are so important for these four teams, and I think they will. Everyone want to be on top. So yeah, that's going to be exciting to see. Otherwise, also you can say what we see now in the groups, we can also maybe see in the finals that this could be like a measure for what we're going to see in the future. So yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you come on with a Saturday as we have, again, we'll get the thing started in that group. Sweden versus the USA and Canada versus Finland will be Saturday with coverage starting right here at the same time, 1945 CEST. So do not miss that. You're going to want to be right here to see all of that take shape. But we do have some business here to take care of on hand. As we mentioned, Switzerland facing off against Austria. Let's get a closer look at each of these two teams and kind of talking a little bit about what they're going to look like heading into the series with our starting lineups, beginning with Austria, as we mentioned, coming into today with 0 points so far, but looking to change that as they are still in that playoff push. It's the three forwards starting out at center. The captain of this Austria team, Olivia Kiss. Well, on the left wing side will be Marcel Klepper, and on the right wing side, Oliver Knapp. While back on defense, Max Tonitz at lefty and Raphael Nachpenig at the right defense. And in between the pipes, Patrick Brown. I mean, Peter, a lot of familiar names here on the European side. And again, a team that I think, though, has struggled to start out this playoff run, or this World Cup run, rather, has a lot of veteran talent throughout the lineup on every phase of the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that knows how to play and has also played a little together. Not maybe all of them, but yeah. And and Olivia Kiss, one of two women participating in this tournament. I really looking forward to see how she's playing. Think she was first from this funny team Clown on Ice. I think when she started her career, and now she's here. That's really good to see.
Yeah, you see a lot of familiar faces as well from some of those Deadly Phantoms teams back in the day that won a couple of ECL Pro Division championships. So some veteran experience and some chemistry there as well. But their adversary in the Swiss on the other side, let's get a look at their lineup to see what they're going to be sporting. We've talked about them, how they have caught some people off guard, and this has been the lineup that has primarily done it so far. Right in the middle at center, Nicholas Hoffman, while on the left wing side next to him is Eric Riegel, and on the right wing side, Brian Abe, while back on the fence, a very, very sound pairing that has really stepped up for this group so far. On the left side, Kyle Groston, and on the right side, Yoel El Crayonbuel, and in between the pipes, Florian Schulp. And, you know, like we said, this is a team and a lineup that has snuck up on a lot of people, maybe not sneaking up on teams so much more with the way they've started out.
No, and I think that Hoffman has played really good, and I think he can. If he's on in the mood tonight, I think he will be one of the contenders of most goals tonight.
That's going to be really interesting to look out for. You kind of just look at what the Swiss have been able to do so far, and the goal scoring has been one of the really interesting stories for them. They've only scored 6 goals, but they've only allowed 4. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the balance of that is going to look like. And we see all the time plays are driven from that high powered center that can create offense. Nicholas Hoffman, as you mentioned, is going to be the guy on that side, and he'll be going right up against Profane Kiss as well.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting matchup.
As we are just a few minutes away from getting things started. As we mentioned, Switzerland with 3 points so far, 1-0-1 to start the season. Austria, no wins so far. They have 3 goals for and 6 against. And we mentioned Switzerland, 6 goals for, 4 against. So, you know, despite these two being separated by 3 points and Austria not having that win yet, you kind of look at some of the underlying stats, and the two really aren't that far off from each other, which is interesting. So it kind of goes to show you that despite Austria maybe struggling a little bit out the gate, this is a series that could very well decide who gets that number two and final playoff spot out of Group C.
Yeah, I think the matchup tonight when it comes to the goalies, Braun and Schlupp, those will be the head contenders for. I mean, if they really play tight, and I think it's going to be a tight game, and we shall see. But I think this matchup will be very tight. Not so many goals, but uh, if one of the goalies are not feeling, I mean, in the wall mode, so to speak, so then of course that can be a disaster. But no, I'm quite sure that this is going to be not so many goals, which is not so funny for us, but could be for the game. So
Yeah, you kind of just look a little bit at the stats so far. Schlupp, 69.57 save percentage in those first two games. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the goaltenders are able to really step up and make their presence known. We've seen so many times over the years, especially on the European side of competition, goalies can really dictate the way these games go just because they're able to stand on their head and stop everything in front of them, despite the quality of offense on the other side. So it could possibly go that way, Peter. I mean, it does kind of have that feeling to it with the way these two teams match up.
yeah, and well, it depends all how they play in the beginning, and of course, I mean the goalies they are not alone, or they should not be alone. So also the defense wall would. Well, I think the goalies appreciate if they get some help from these guys also.
As you see, Team Austria, who is the perspective we will be watching in this series today, you get a bit of a look at their builds and a nice mix, interestingly enough. You know, we heard Furin and Lemonins, they both said it in our last broadcast that a lot of the meta so far this year with NHL 26 has been towards the bigger builds with a little bit more size. You see a mix here for Austria. You see a two-way forward there for Olivia Kiss. You
Yeah.
see a dangler build in there as well on the left wing side, mixed in with a couple of defensive defensemen and a power forward. So I'm really interested to see how Austria is going to play this, just because they don't have the typical all size lineup throughout all five positions like what we've been used to seeing throughout this year.
No, it's like two tanks and three rogues. So yeah, it's this is going to be interesting.
Gonna especially be interested to see what the Swiss have lined up on the other sides. You see both teams searching and getting ready to go here. Peter, I'm going to ask you for both sides, what do you think is going to be a key to success for them, starting out with this Austria side that we see on our screen here?
Uh, don't hold the puck too much. I mean, pass the puck fast from side to side or northwest or north south. It doesn't matter, but don't hold the puck too long. Don't be that dangler, maybe kind of play. Be more playmaking and passing, and of course defense. So, but don't be afraid to take the chances also. So it's a balance there. But I think I always see, even in the real hockey games, that if you hold the puck too long, well, then you are, then, well, that is not the best of strategies.
And then you look at the other side for Switzerland. As we mentioned, the hot start, maybe catching some people off guard, able to split that series with Germany, who were seen as the favorite. What do they need to do to not trip up here against the Austria team that's going to come out desperate?
Yeah, and don't take unnecessary penalties. I think that also can ruin a game.
Neither of these two sides have gotten the play so far yet. You mentioned the penalties. That's especially going to be a key for Austria. 8 penalty minutes in their first two games. Switzerland yet to take a penalty so far in this World Cup tournament. We are roaring and ready to go. The first of 4 games that we will be covering here today. We'll have 2 games between these two sides, and afterwards we'll have Norway versus Germany. We've got business to take care of first here first. We are underway. And we've got Switzerland starting off with possession in the offensive end. This is Grossen with it, moving it down low and not able to find much as Austria. But I'll move this thing forward with Kleppa. Up to the point to Tonitz. Back in front, shot on, save made. A roaring one-timer there. And Austria starting out hot there. A nice quick one-timer trying to get their rhythm going offensively. As
We
a
have
penalty
this,
going to be called.
yeah, and what? Oh, it's a classic tripping. I didn't even see it, so well, not good.
And that was what you had just mentioned there, Peter, staying out of the box. Going to be a really important key, especially for an Austria team that struggled with that in their first series. 8 penalty minutes in that opening series. As we mentioned, it's a pass across and they score! Switzerland kicks off the scoring. A power play goal less than 5 minutes in.
Yeah, who then Hoffman that I talked about, very dangerous, and it was Olivia Kiss who was a little unlucky with her stick. So yeah, well, just to get back on the horse again.
The Swiss kick things off. Their second shot on net. Fats the back of it as another shot from the point, gloved away by Braun. You get the feeling might be pretty busy tonight.
Yeah, and now Switzerland also has some kind of wind in the back, so they feel confident and maybe they will shoot from anywhere.
Face off to the left side of Braun, won by the Swiss. It's a quick shot saved again there by Braun. 4 shots already, just a little bit over 4 minutes into this game. So Switzerland starting off firing on all cylinders offensively, but a turnover in their own end. Austria not able to take advantage of it as Hoffman, who got that opening goal, takes it up into the neutral zone. Finds Riegel. Pass back to Hoffman. Poked off the stick. A nice defensive play there made by Oliver Knapp. Switzerland still in the offensive end working. Trying to pass that to the middle. They get it back. Another shot on. Saved again by Braun. That was Riegel who put that one on net. Austria into the offensive zone, but not able to keep it. It feels like there's been a bit of a disconnect so far for Austria on the breakout, just not able to sustain offensive pressure. You see Switzerland in the zone now, but turn it over. Nice defensive effort there by the Austrians as they move forward. Kleppo with it. Gets it back in the corner, looking for an option. Passes to the point. As a shot on there, a far shot was stopped easily by Schlupp, and he'll hold on for the stoppage.
Yeah, and Olivia Kiss tried to be in the way somehow to cover the goalie there, but well, Schlupp was he was ready.
Face off one in the defensive zone by Hoffman as he moves it up quickly. Abe with it, shot goes wide. Picked up by Austria. Approaching the halfway point of this first period, Switzerland up 1-0. A power play goal by the centerman Nicholas Hoffman kicked off the scoring just 3 minutes into this game. 4 shots in the first 4 minutes, but it has slowed down just a little bit for the Swiss Sense as an offsides called as Austria tried to break into the offensive zone.
Yeah, well, the Swiss defense or the offense actually are holding the blue line very well, so Austria has all problems of getting in.
So the Swiss with possession now. Hoffman would have got poked off his stick. We're starting to see Austria shirt things up a bit defensively. Switzerland not able to break in as easily and get that cycle going the way they were early. Stonitz with it, trying to get it back down low to Kiss, but it was intercepted. Here comes Switzerland down the other end. Riegel over to Abe. Abe from behind, picked up by Austria, as they'll now set things up offensively. First of 4 games that will be covered here today on broadcast. The first of 2 between these two sides. Switzerland with 3 points in the standings as they go down the other end and score.
And who
is there Hoffman yet again.
Yeah. And he has found some kind of weak spot there for Braun. It looks more or less the same, the 2 goals.
Cross crease over to that right side where Hoffman was, the left-handed centerman, his second goal of the of the game. As Switzerland doubles their lead to 2-0. 6 shots, and they've been able to find a third of them in the back of the net. As they tried to push the pressure again, but an offside call before they could.
Yeah, well, the Austrian team has to somehow not. It's too easy for Hoffman to just shoot like that.
Hoffman came into today with 3 goals so far in the tournament, 4 points. So he has been the primary goal scorer for the Swiss team so far. He has been their trigger man, and he's been efficient as well, a 50% shot percentage. So it's not a high volume, but when he does shoot, it is typically dangerous. It's a shot from the point blocked in front as Austria takes over possession. I think now here, Peter, the question is, what does Austria need to do to turn the momentum in their favor here?
Yeah, the next goal is very important for them to get. If they get another one in the back, I don't know what will happen. So
They have a chance here, a 2-on-2 as they work it up. Kleppe controlling it. Gives it back to the point to Tonitz. It's a one-time shot. Puck loose in front. Found, however, by the Swiss, but battled for and found by Austria. Kleppe with it. In front. Spinning shot from Kiss stopped. 50 seconds to go. Swiss on the counter attack. Regal's shot stopped by Braun. Puck loose in the corner. Battled for as it's tied up by Tonitz and found by Kleppe. Up to Knapp. 4 seconds to go. Swiss looking for one last shot to Hoffman, but can't get it off. And that will do it for the opening frame of game number 1. And it has been all Switzerland and all the man on your screen, Nicholas Hoffman, with both goals to kick off the scoring in the first period. A 2-0 lead for the Swiss after 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's been served really easy, 2 goals there. And I think when I saw Austria, how they played in the end, they had some chances. They weren't really dangerous. But also I saw that they saw a chance and they took it instead of maybe, no, we're going to do a pass instead. We're going to see if we can find another way. I think it's important. Yes, Austria has to make the next goal. That is, I mean, crucial for this game. If we have a 3-0 game, then it's going to be a real steep uphill for the Austrian team. So, yeah.
So Austria, you see the stats so far from that first period. 4 shots for Austria, 8 for Switzerland. And a lot of the numbers feel pretty indicative of what we saw through the eye test. Switzerland getting a lot of the pressure. Austria having chances here and there, but nothing overly dangerous that have made the Swiss sweat too much so far.
No, I think the Swiss defense put them right never in the middle. When Austria wanted to go in the middle, there was someone there in the way. So good defense play from the Swiss team. But Austria, I think they have to find some kind of free lanes on the either left or right side to come in and maybe score.
Second period now underway. Once again, you were watching the 2026 World Cup for Hockey, powered by SportsGamer GG and LeagueGaming.com. Brandon Bigsby with you on play-by-play. My man Peter with me on the color. Sopley back behind, pushing all the buttons, making things happen on the production side. As a quick chance for Austria stopped easily there by the Swiss. So we'll get an offensive zone face-off for the Austrians coming up.
Yeah, a win here and maybe a shot from the defense and score. Well, then we have a game.
Offensive zone face-off lost by Austria. As you saw Switzerland, they were trying to move quickly there, but it was intercepted. Kleppe with it. Waiting, turning, looking. Didn't have anything towards the slots. Tonitz gets it up at the point. Tried to give it back down low. Nearly a breakaway to Regal, and they do get it. 1-on-1. Nice move, but the shot saved by Braun. Here comes Austria on the counter. 3-on-2. Kleppe holding, shot poked away. Tonitz moving it forward. Back to the point. Shot saved and stopped. Another chance. Stopped again by Schlupp. He'll get possession of that puck and hold for the whistle.
Yeah, 2-3 very important saves there by Schlupp. He's doing everything he can not to make Austria score.
Defensive zone draw won again by Switzerland. It has been domination from Nicholas Hoffman at that red dot against Olivia Kiss. He has won the majority of faceoffs so far. Austria trying to work in the offensive zone, but nothing doing as the Swiss now moving forward. Abe will just slap that one in. Regal gives chase to it and finds it first. Poke checked away. Found, however, by Grossa, but turned over. Kleppe with it. Up to the point. The Pachinik, one-timer, stopped into the glove of Schlupp, who will hold on for the whistle. And something you'll often see in more casual games is goaltenders playing that puck out, trying to keep the pace of play going. In competitive games like this, not so much. Too risky.
Yeah, it was.
Another offensive zone draw for Austria, but lost once again. You feel like those faceoffs catch up with you. You lose those possessions and those possible scoring opportunities. Opportunities that Austria could really use as they try to move it back into the offensive zone now. Kiss holding it, moving it back to Tonitz. It's a pass the blue line and finds Knapp. Knapp tried to force it over to Kleppe, but it was turned over. A nice interception there by the Swiss defense. Halfway through this game, Switzerland leading 2-0. We're starting to see Austria pick their groove up a bit. You see the shots much closer, 10-8 now, as a delayed penalty going to be called, and Switzerland will have a power play coming up, barring a goal here. There's a shot blocked in front there. That was a Krahenbuhl from the point, but Austria with another penalty as Oliver Knapp, the right winger, will head to the box for that penalty right there on your screen.
Yeah, and one of the better defense also they are lost now here in this box play. So it's a critical moment now for Austria.
And remember, the first goal of the game was on a power play as well. So we've seen the Swiss already capitalize on these Austria mistakes as a pass in front was kicked away there by Braun, as Austria wisely killing off time. A very smart move. We talked about the veteran leadership of this Austria team. You see a little bit of that right there. Hoffman controlling it now for the Swiss. Moves it up to the point. Riegel up to Grossen. Shot on. Swept aside. Still in control of the Swiss, however. This is Hoffman. Pass across, and they score! The Swiss, for the second time, score on the power play, and it's the captain, Abe, who puts it in the back of the net.
Yep, the Elderman and Hoffman, nice pass. And here, as I said before, fast passing, and you get results.
A 3-0 lead for Switzerland and 2 goals on the man advantage. Austria desperate for a response. Can they find it here? They're moving it around in the offensive end over at the point. Puck finds its way to the corner and it's turned over. Here comes Switzerland once again. Hoffman in control, giving it over to Riegel. Back to Hoffman, but intercepted there by Tonitz. Approaching the 5-minute mark in period 2. Knapp gives it back to Kiss. One-time shot from Tonitz. Save. Puck loose in front, but found by Switzerland as they move it down the other end. Riegel with it, bumped off and found by Kleppa. Gives it up to Knapp, to Kiss now. Kiss slows it down and gives it to Tonitz at the point. Back to Kleppa as a shot from an odd angle was stopped by Schlupp. You see Austria, they're starting to find their game a bit offensively, but some of the mistakes, that has been the difference in this game as Switzerland has taken advantage. That shot there from the point went wide from the Pachnik. 2 minutes to go here in the second. Riegel back to the point to Gross and shot on, goes wide, finds his way to the opposite side point. Another shot gets blocked in front, and it's found by Riegel. Back up to the point, but offside. They're going to have to reset. 1 minute to go now. Grossen to Riegel. Could not hold on to it. Puck loose, however, but Kiss gets a handle on it, and now Austria looking to counter down the other way. Puck found by Kiss behind the net. 4 seconds to go. Needs to make a play. Can't find anything. Nice defense there from Grossen behind his own net. And that is how the period will end. Switzerland, a 3-0 lead. And it's the power play goal from their captain, Brian Abe, that gives them that 3-goal advantage.
Yeah, a much better period from the Austrian team in the second. But I see 2 major things that they need to take control over. And first of all, don't take penalties, because you see Switzerland really dangerous now. Hoffman with the first goal, and then the second he made an assist in those 2 power play goals they made. But the thing that I'm a little worried about is the lack of face-off wins for Austria. I mean, Olivia has to be better there. They lose a lot of chances when they are on the offensive side if they don't win one single. I don't see, there were 2 face-offs win, but 13 from Hoffman. So I think those 2 are crucial. If they don't take any penalties and can win some more face-offs, maybe this game could be a game. And of course, now, more important than ever, Austria has to score the next goal. If we have a 4-0 goal here, well, then I guess they are ready for the next game matchup. So,
and that's a great point with the face-offs. And it's interesting because coming into this series, Austria as a team, 57.5% at the face-off dot during their first series. Switzerland, 48.8%. So a near 9% advantage in favor of Austria, but it has been the complete opposite of that here today as we were underway for the third and final frame of game number 1. Again, these 2 teams will play one more time, with the 2 sides swapping, Austria being the home team, Switzerland being the road team. But it has been all Swiss so far through 40 minutes of this first game, and they're looking to keep the good times rolling. Unable to keep it in the offensive zone, but they get it back. The pass in front, they shoot and they score! It's Regal who gets it in! And you mentioned that all-important next goal. Switzerland gets it, and they might be cruising to a victory here in game one.
And you can't lose your puck in your own zone like that. I mean, no.
A 4-0 advantage for Switzerland. And they may not be done as they try to push it into the offensive end, but could not find any space. And remember, this is huge because both of these two teams, everyone in this group, Group C, they've played twice already. So you only get 6 games. This is a huge result for both sides. An Austrian team that came in with no points, a Switzerland team that came in with 3. So this is a massive result, and it makes the next game even that much more important. That's a part of what makes this format so fun with these group stages. Only 2 teams making the playoffs out of a group like Group C. It just adds to the intrigue, and it adds to the importance of every single game and collecting as many points as you possibly can. So a potential 3 big points for the Swiss here if they can indeed hold on. They have just 12.5 minutes to do so. They have possession here and a potential odd man rush. Regal controlling it, giving it over to Abe, but bumped off of that puck and getting it back. Down low to Hoffman, back to Regal. Looking for space. Doesn't have much. Nice defensive play from the Pachenig, but Austria, they don't need defense, they need offense. As you mentioned, they have to get a goal here and soon. Not able to break into the offensive zone. Regal with it. Holding, shot loose in front, found, however, by Hoffman. Hoffman looking. Back to Regal. Back to Hoffman. Shot on. Stopped there by Braun, who will play this out. Another chance there. Blocked in front by Tonitz. And here comes the Austrians, but turned over. And it's been little plays like that that have cost Austria. Just the mistakes that you cannot afford against a team like Switzerland that have been playing so well so far in this tournament. As the Swiss in the offensive zone, but lost. Kleppe controlling it for Austria. Holding, looking, trying to create space behind the net now. Gives up to Tonitz. One-time shot to a kiss, and it's stopped and saved by Schlupp. His 11th save on 11 shots so far.
Yeah, well, Schlupp hasn't really been challenged by the Austrian team. That was an easy save for him, but it's a save, it's a save. But I think, I don't know, now Switzerland can just play for the win here.
Tie-up draw won by Austria. A weak one-timer from Kleppe, stopped by Schlupp. As you mentioned, Austria have not really tested him too heavily so far. They've had some chances, and they've had them in spurts, but nothing has really made Switzerland sweat too much so far. As a quick chance there, it looked like a wraparound from Kleppe. Couldn't get it to go, however, as a full pressure was activated for the Austrians, and Switzerland wisely going to call a timeout to try to kill it off.
Yeah, and then also they give Schlupp a rest there because he's been quite busy these last few minutes, but not that dangerous. But still, he is where he's supposed to be, and maybe that looks very easy when a goalie plays that well, and then you say he's not been challenged. No, he maybe is really challenged because he's just in the right spot all the time.
You get a quick look at what the lineups there were for both sides, just in case you weren't with us during the introduction of our broadcast here today. Is I think the one thing that you want to do here if you're Austria, obviously the result in this game looks rather well in hand, but you still have another game to go. How can you find some momentum to carry in the game too? I think that's kind of where your mindset shifts here if you are the Austrians and you're down 4-0 with another game to play against the same Swiss team. They have it in the offensive zone now. Kleppe controlling it at the corner, giving up the Tonitz. Looking back to Kleppe. Nice spin, kind of passed it into nowhere, and it led to a turnover. As Switzerland were trying to get past the blue line, but an offside call.
Yeah, for the next game, I think Austria would really be a favor for them if they score, just, so that Schlupp doesn't be that kind of ghost that is in the way all the time.
Trying to make something happen here on this possession. Tonitz couldn't find that pass over to Kiss. It led to a turnover. Less than 2 minutes to go. Switzerland on their way to their second win of this tournament. Austria staring at their third straight loss, all in regulation. As Napachnik holding it, shot on, stopped by Schlupp, and again, a shot on net, but as you mentioned, Peter, a pretty easy save there for Schlupp, not making him work too hard to make that stop.
Yeah, they just want to have a shot on goal and not thinking more about it, and I think that is not the winning combination.
As Grossen has possession here for Switzerland, and he'll move it into the neutral zone. Finds Riegel. Bump from behind, puck given chase and found first by Austria. As the Pachinik gets it and moves it up to Knapp. 40 seconds to play. Kiss. Whiff it. Back to Tonitz. Trying to pass it back to Kiss, but it's found over by the Pachinik as the puck loose and found by the Swiss. Another turnover forced by the Switzerland defense as a pass across. Riegel looking pass across and they score! It's Niklas Hoffman's hat trick. He extends the lead forward for Switzerland. A 5-0 score now late in the third.
Yep, and I'm making a note here, hat trick, and well, he was my favorite, and he has not disappointed me.
I was going to say, you said it before we started the series that he was going to be the man to look out for on that Swiss side. His 6th goal now of this tournament already. He has been a striker for this Swiss contingent as Austria with one final chance to get on the score sheet here, pass across, nothing doing. 1 second to go, and the final horn sounds. A dominant performance for Switzerland, a shutout victory, just the second shutout from a team in this tournament. We saw one from Slovakia. Switzerland as their name to the list with a 5-0 win, led by the hat trick from Niklas Hoffman.
Yeah, and this was, I think, Austria's worst game in this tournament. They didn't score, and they let in 5 goals. So, no, not a good game for them tonight.
Not their best game, but nevertheless, an impressive performance there from the Swiss side. And, you can't take that away from them. The way they were really able to find their way forward and just continue the momentum. I mean, they scored that first goal just 3 minutes in, and it just felt like it never really slowed down for them, Peter. From that point on, it was all Swiss the entire time for the most part.
Yeah, I didn't see. I saw some kind of a movement, like, well, Austria maybe has something in the second period. They had some chances in the beginning, but then the 3-0 goal, and then I think it went downhill from that.
As you get a look at the final stats there, and it's interesting because we saw it just for a second. Austria had more time on attack than Switzerland did, 828 compared to 651, but 14 shots to 17 in favor of the Swiss. And you mentioned the face-off difference, 17 face-off wins for Switzerland, just 5 for Austria. So despite all of that time on attack, it just felt like Austria never really able to create dangerous opportunities that really made Switzerland have to work defensively, and more importantly, really made Schlupp have to make a play that was a little bit beside himself. Pretty easy saves for him throughout the game in that 14-save shutout.
Yeah, but it gave him confidence, and I think that this is going to be something that he will take to the second game also. And I think Switzerland now is more confident to maybe win this second game also. But you never know. Austria can have something on in their sleeves that we don't know about. But 2 things that, as I mentioned before, now I think they Olivia did some more wins on this third period actually when it comes to the face-off, but better face-offs and no penalties. I think those are the 2 main points that they need to really look into, and I think they will have a lot of discussions about this in between games here now. So well, I hope to see more goals from Austria.
So 5-0 win for Switzerland. You saw it there for a minute, if Sopley, if you don't mind going back to that, just so we can kind of highlight it a little bit. Switzerland gets the 3 points. So now that puts them in a tie with Norway for first place. Now, obviously, Norway has yet to start their series. They will begin their series against Germany at the conclusion of this Austria versus Switzerland series. But that's a huge win for Swiss because now it not only puts them closer to that playoff part, but now they're also still in contention for that number 1 spot because Germany and Norway, those were the 2 favorites coming into this group. it wouldn't be surprising at all to see those teams split or to maybe see Germany take both. Like, this puts Switzerland in a very, very good position, especially if they can somehow pick 3 more points up in this next game against Austria on top of it.
Yeah, they do. And I think Germany likes this because now they know that Norway is a little worried about the result of Switzerland. And depending on also on what happens in the second game now, then Norway really has to play good and maybe not to be too confident to get the first place anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see for the next matchup also. But I think Austria needs to win this game to have any chance. I mean, well, it is. If they don't win, then they are in the relegation promotion playoff. So, but we shall see.
Yeah, and
Soon
you
it
have
will
to
start.
remember Austria already played Norway, so their final series would be against Germany. So not only do they have to win this game, but I think they are going to be pretty big Norway fans more likely in this next series, hoping that, obviously with them already being first, Germany stays a little bit closer to them. They control their own destiny. And then obviously they would need a little bit of help from Norway once again, as them and Switzerland still have to play one another as well. So Austria is still mathematically in, but they have to win this next game to be mathematically. And if they lose, they are officially out of contention to make the playoffs and will have to play in that relegation promotion playoff in next week's time.
Yeah, and this is something they are discussing also, of course, now during the games here. And well, I think this is a time that you don't need to think of defense. Now it's offense, 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 and that of course will be then opening lanes for Switzerland to have more uh, chances of scoring goals. And see if Hoffman makes another hat trick. Not so sure. Maybe I think he's quite maybe not that hungry as he was in the first game, but we shall see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I think that if you're Austria, you don't really have a choice but to switch up a few things within your play style and your strategy, right? Obviously, you have your identity and you have your group and you know the way you want to play, but something has to be adjusted. There was just a lack of really creativity, it felt like. A lot of what Austria was doing, it felt like Switzerland was ready for anything and everything that was thrown at them in that first game.
Yeah, true. I'm just looking to see if they made any changes, but I can't see that there is. No, it's the same lineup.
Yeah, looks like it's the same exact lineup in terms of the builds on the side of Austria. A playmaker, dangler, and power forward as the 3 forwards, a pair of defensive defensemen back on the back end. As once again, huge implications here for Austria, a regulation loss, and they are officially eliminated from playoff contention and will have to play in that relegation promotion playoff next week. While for Switzerland, they're looking to really strengthen their odds to make it into the playoff conversation. They came into today second in Group C. Obviously, there's going to have to be some waiting to see what happens in the Germany-Norway matchup, but if they win this game, they'll be outright first place in the group. So huge implications for both sides. And now
Yeah,
we're
and
going to find out who is going to see it through.
yeah, and well, Austria, you have to do better.
We are once again watching from the perspective of Austria. They're in their home red jerseys, while Switzerland in their road whites. As Austria looking to move it forward here rather quickly. You see a desperation in the way they're playing, a lot of urgency there in the offensive zone, despite that quick turnover. Here come the Swiss down the other end. Trying to pass over to Hoffman, who had that hat trick in game one, but it was turned over. The Pachinik with it over at the right boards, looking for a passing option and finds it in Kiss. Kiss has it at the corner, brings it around to the opposite side over to Kleppa, and it's turned over. And the defense of Switzerland, we didn't talk about it a lot, but that was arguably even more impressive than what they did offensively, not allowing Austria to get a lot of space or a lot of room to move or work in the offensive end. As a shot in front, stopped there by Braun. First shot of the day from the Swiss, and it's a dangerous one. Tonitz into the offensive end now for Austria. The Patchnik at the point. Over to Kiss. Trying to pass it back to Tonitz, but it's turned over. A nice steal there from Abe, the captain of that Switzerland team. Yeah, Switzerland now has it in the neutral zone as they look to work it back in. Creighton Buell look to move it in, but not able to find much as Austria trying to counter, but nothing doing. A 2-on-1 now for the Swiss. Hoffman with it. Backhand shot, and he scores! His 7th goal of the tournament, his 4th on the day, and Niklas Hoffman, no one can stop him here in this series so far.
Yeah, and Max Tonitz, where are you? You were supposed to defend that side. He was nowhere around Hoffman. And this is, I mean, of course, I said, yeah, you have to go to be in offense play now. But Tonitz, well, that's your goal.
2 shots, 1 goal as Austria trying to counter. That was Tonitz on the shot, but it was saved. Trying to maybe make up for the mistake there of a goal of his own, but nothing doing. Here comes Switzerland down the other end. It's Hoffman again as it's puck loose in front. Found a shot across nearly, but nothing there. Hoffman down the Regal. And the thing about the Switzerland team, and I think is so impressive, is that they hit you in an instant, man. I mean, it's like a bee sting. Like, all of a sudden, it hits you, and there's just nothing that you can do about it. The way they attack so quickly and so suddenly, so impressive about this team so far in this series. Austria looking to slow it down here as they get their offense set up. Tonitz at the blue line, tripped up, and Switzerland now going to have to sport their penalty kill for the first time all season. They have yet to take a penalty until now, and it's Hoffman, who we have been singing his praises, who is the guilty party.
Yeah, and now Austria has really a chance to get into this game. It's, I mean, if they don't score on this power play, I think this game is over, actually.
So a critical 2 minutes here for the Austrians. They have not scored on the power play so far this tournament. Didn't have a chance in their last game. And so far, it's not looking great as you saw Switzerland immediately on the counterattack, but turned over. Tonitz with it. Finds Kiss. Up to Napachnik. Moves it forward, looking for a play. Not much there, and he gives it over to Knapp. A shot in front, stopped by Schlupp. A pretty easy stop. He'll hold on and freeze it.
Yeah, well, he tried anyway. Maybe he should have gone further out, but, well, a shot is a shot.
Mentioned the face-offs, the struggle in face-offs for Austria. They're able to win that one in the offensive end, however. 50 seconds to go on the man advantage. Just 1 shot so far for Austria on this power play. They've got to find something. Can they do it? As a weak shot there from Kleppa, not really much of a threat. They do get it back, however, as it's found by Kiss in the right corner. Tied up on the boards as she kicks it over. Pass in front to Tonitz, doesn't connect. As Hoffman nearly out of the box, and he is now. So a nice kill there, a nearly dangerous chance for Austria. Another shot, and it goes in! Tonitz from the point, and Austria with exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and even if they didn't do it on the power play, it was due to the power play that they had this pressure. And Tonitz, well, he did maybe a little repair from his last mistake. So, well done.
So Austria, for the first time in this series, puts one in the back of the net, and it ties this game at 1 apiece, approaching the 5-minute mark here in this first period. As Switzerland looking to get it back, they wasted no time as a shot blocked in front. Puck still loose. Braun trying to find it. Had some help from his defense there. Dangerous moments there for the Austrian. They turn it over. Abe with it. Holding it, pass in front, stopped by Braun. Puck still loose, Hoffman with it. Gives it up to the high point, but it's turned over. And here comes Austria down the other end. Kleppa holding, shot on, blockered away there by Schlupp. Austria still on the attack. Poked away, but found by Knapp. Up to the point to Napachnik, a very weak shot. Did not get all of that one. A pretty unfortunate animation there. As their breakaway, a broken stick kind of messed that play up for Switzerland. As Austria able to get possession, a wild couple of sequences there for both teams. 1 minute to go. Austria in the neutral zone, trying to find their first lead of the series. A chance in front, and they score! Austria up 2-1, and it's Oliver Knapp who puts it in the back of the net.
Well, he didn't take a nap. He was wide awake, and all of a sudden, Austria is playing more hockey than they ever did in the first game.
The first goal of this tournament for the right winger, Oliver Knapp. And it comes at a critical juncture when Austria really needs to win this game. They have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And so far, they have been up for the challenge, a 2-1 lead. As just a couple of seconds left, Abe not able to get a shot off for the Swiss, and that will do it for the first 20 minutes. A very entertaining first 20 minutes. You saw the first goal there from Max Tonitz, the left defenseman, made up for the goal that he was pretty responsible for earlier on from the Swiss. Saw it on that one-timer right there that trickled in. And as we just saw a few moments ago, Oliver Knapp with the goal to put Austria up 2-1 at the end of the first period.
I don't want to take anything away from Austria, but I think Schlupp really didn't look that secure in the goal as he did in the first game. But this is very good result for Norway. I think Norway is happy to see this now, and I mean also for the tournament, of course, if Austria can keep this pace that they have and get away with a win, then we have a tournament again for them. So good show.
So, Peter, I'll ask you now, because this is the first time for the Swiss that they've really had to face any adversity in this series. What do they need to do to kind of recollect and regroup here while they have a couple minutes to kind of sit back, breathe, and talk about a few things after a rough first period?
I don't think they're going to change anything. I mean, play as they did before. The panicking, I think, is the worst thing they can do. And, well, maybe find some more ways than just passing Hoffman all the time, because maybe that is also something that an Austrian player has seen and and counterattacked with. So, well, next goal for Swiss, and then it's calm again.
Yeah, next goal feels really critical, doesn't it? As you are watching the eHockey World Cup for 2026, powered by SportsGamer and LeagueGaming.com. Brandon Bigsby, Peter Novara with you here on the call. Our amazing producer behind the scenes, Lauri Enström, better known as Soapily, making everything happen to power this broadcast that you are watching on the screen. A big shout out to him. As Austria in the neutral zone looking to make things happen, but turn it over. Switzerland on the counter. Hoffman controlling it, had a shot, but it hit the side of the net. Puck found by Switzerland, a little spinning backhand there from the boards from Abe, and we're unable to get a hold of that one.
Yeah, well, good that round. Just control the puck and made it a little more calm for them, because Swiss player was really dangerous now.
Offensive zone face-off for Switzerland. Haven't had many so far in this game. They do win it, as Hoffman gives it back behind the net and tries to get it back, but Tonitz gets the puck and he draws the tripping call. So another power play coming up for Austria, and it's Nicholas Hoffman yet again who is heading to the box.
Yeah, and Tonitz says this is the second time that he draws a penalty, and the same for Hoffman. So yeah, Tonitz he heard my complaints, and he's done great things after that.
Like the Michael Jordan meme where he says, "And I took that personally." You could put Tonitz's face on that, and it would have been pretty well fitting. He has been a man possessed ever since that goal went in. He's the one controlling it. Now it's a pass across and a save by Schlupp. Easily his toughest so far of the series.
Yeah, I think also Grossen was in the way there, because if he wasn't, that puck would have gone in.
Another chance here coming up for Austria as they get another offensive zone faceoff, as it was blocked there from Grossen. Austria in the offensive end. Kiss with it, gives it down low to Kleppa. Finds Tonitz now. At the point, moving forward. Couldn't find much. It's turned over as Switzerland were maybe going to dump it, but it got to Riegel, and now he's going to try to push. Moving through the defense. Finally loses control, but still killed a lot more time than they would have probably with a regular dump play. 20 seconds to go here on the power play for Austria. Puck loose in the right corner. Found behind the Patchnik and gives it up to Tonitz. Hoffman about to come out of the box now. Kleppa with it, working in front, lost it, and it's found by Riegel. And here's a quick chance here for Switzerland down the other way, but an offside called, a bit of a miscommunication between Riegel and Hoffman as they were crossing that blue line.
Yeah, Riegel, he shot after the whistle blew, and that wasn't popular at the Austrian team.
Neutral zone faceoff won by the Swiss, but they couldn't hold on to it. Knapp now working down the other end with pace. Nice move, gets some space and gives up to Kleppa. Now to Tone, it's back to Kleppa. Trying to work it towards the middle, passing in front, puck loose, Kiss with a quick shot stop by Schlupp. And this has been a much different looking Austria team from what we saw game one. They have had all of the time on attack. They have had all of the dangerous chances ever since that opening goal there from Switzerland to start this game. Tonitz in the neutral zone, crosses the blue line, gives up the Kiss. Didn't have much. A nice poke check there from the Swiss contingent as they move it forward. Approaching the halfway point of this game, Austria in a do or die situation find themselves up 2-1. We remind you again of the situation. With a loss, Austria is eliminated from playoff contention. They must get 3 points out of this result to stay alive in that hunt. They're on their way to doing so now, but will they hold on? Kleppa at the corner. Holds. Trying to find any option. Not much available. Great defense there from Switzerland as they create the turnover. Was not able to do much with it, however. bMaJuH back to the point to Tonitz. Tonitz holding, looking, pass across, the shot goes wide to bMaJuH. And here comes Switzerland down the other way. 3-on-2 potentially. Abe shot. Hits off of the glove of Braun. It feels like the game is slowed down a little bit. A lot more methodical space. Not very available to either side so far offensively. Switzerland looking for a quick chance. Nice little move from Riegel. Couldn't convert it, but Abe gets it back for him. Back to the point. Kreinbuhl could not get that shot off as it was blocked. Another chance there. That one finds Braun, but he's able to save it and holds on to it for the stoppage.
A good save from Braun and very important. Unfortunately, also Marcel Klepp, he was in the way of a really good chance again. That really could have been a 3-1 goal there. So
an offensive zone draw coming up here for the Swiss. It's been a much more even battle on the dot so far between Kiss and Hoffman as Hoffman gets the better of her on that one. As a shot on, puck loose in front, another chance goes wide. Full pressure activated now for Switzerland. Grossen with it. Holding it, shot on the one-timer from Kreinbuhl was stopped by Braun. He gets it back, over to Abe, back to Kreinbuhl. Back to Abe, working it over at that right board. Hoffman with space. Hoffman shot, puck loose in front, found, however, by bMaJuH for Austria. He turns it over in his own end. Hoffman pass across, and they score! Riegel with the finish, and Switzerland knocks this thing back up at 2.
yeah, bMaJuH did everything right in the beginning. He was in the way there for a real chance, and then he blew it by doing this kind of passing. It's wow.
Switzerland with the tying answer that they were looking for. They were slowly starting to find their momentum again. And it gets them a goal to even this game up. 2:30 to play here in the second. And now Austria, who had all the momentum, looking to get it back after the Swiss took it right back from them. Knapp with it at the corner, trying to pass it in front. Finds Tonitz at the corner board, but couldn't find much after he ripped that shot off. Less than a minute to go. Hoffman with it. Tried to give it back to Riegel, but couldn't connect on the pass. Here comes Kleppa now for the Austrians. Slows it down and gives it over to Kiss. Works up to Tonitz. Tonitz, couldn't find that pass towards the middle. We've seen Austria look for that cross crease so often so far in this series, and it has not been there often. As that'll do it for period number 2. And we're tied at 2. Switzerland finding their way, staving the storm. And they got the goal from Riegel late in that second period to knot things up. Peter, we've got a heck of a game on our hands, man, and 20 more minutes of regulation to decide it.
Yeah, this could go to overtime if if it goes like this. And I mean, Swiss really was on their knees. They took another penalty. Austria had chances to do 3 and 4-1, but instead they got 2-2 in the end of the period. Really psychologically strong sense for them now, and well, that's hockey for you.
You get a look at the stats through the first 40 minutes. I mean, pretty even for the most part across the board. 11 shots to 8 in favor of Switzerland. About a minute and 11 time on attack difference in favor of Austria. You see the faceoffs much more even this time as well. I think really the big difference, the power plays. We saw in the last game, Switzerland went 2 for 2 on the power play. Austria so far on the man advantage 0 for 2, so not able to take advantage of some of those mistakes that Switzerland has gotten themselves into so far.
But this is now this really important. First, next goal, I think will do everything.
Austria looking to find it as we are underway for period 3. They have it in the offensive zone. Nap behind the net gives to the Kleppe. Up to Tonitz as he's tripped up. That is the third penalty that Tonitz himself has drawn from Switzerland. As a one-timer from Kleppe stopped by Schlupp. And this time is going to be Riegel who will be heading to the box. And the Sticks have been in some unfortunate places for the Swiss so far in this game. A tripping penalty in each of the 3 periods in this game.
Yeah, and Tonitz is really dangerous with the puck and that's what they think. Also, I think Riegel wasn't happy about that, but that's the way it is. Tripping is tripping.
It's the way she goes sometimes, and Tonitz, gotta give him some credit, man. I mean, he struggled a little bit early on, but he has really been active for his Austria team as he gets a pass over to Kiss, puck loose in front, found by Kronenbuhl, who will just dump this one away to kill off a little bit of time. Austria looking to work it down the other end. A delayed penalty, and it's going to be a 5-on-3. It's Brian Abe now who is heading to the box. And if Austria want a chance to find the lead, this feels like where they have to do it.
They have to do it. Now, 2 forwards are gone. So, well, they still have the defense there, but this is really an opening for the Austrian team to score this very important 3-2 goal. And, well, we shall see.
So both wingers in the box, as you mentioned. It's the centerman Hoffman who's alone forward out there with the 2 defensemen Grassen and Kronenbuhl. This is Hoffman with it. He's going to move it forward and dump this one away. That'll kill off a good amount of that 5-on-3. Still 40 seconds, however, to go for Austria. Kleppe with it. Holding. Stopping. One-time blast there from the Pachadig. Blocked in front and dumped out immediately by the Swiss. 10 seconds to go, and then Riegel will be out of the box. Will probably be out before Austria even finds it set up in the offensive zone. There's Riegel into the picture now. It's a pass across, intercepted by Grassen. Doesn't keep it, however. 20 seconds to go on this power play. Kleppe shot on, blockered away easily by Schlupp. Full pressure here now for the Austrians. Kleppe at the left boards. 5 seconds to go on the power play. As a one-time blast blocked there, that was Tonitz who let that one rip. Kiss at the right corner. All 5-on-5 now. Austria not able to convert on that 5-on-3. And if they lose this game, Peter, that's going to be the chance that keeps them up at night.
Yeah, that's right. This was really an opportunity for them to really take the lead now.
14 minutes to go. Austria in the offensive zone. They do still have some momentum in their direction, but a turnover in the offensive end picked up by Abe and a breakaway. This is Riegel one-on-one, poked away by Braun. A huge play from the goaltender.
Yeah, that was a real game changer.
A nice defensive help from Tonitz as well. Austria has it in the offensive zone. A slap shot from the point, stopped and swept aside by Schlupp as Switzerland gets it and now moves it forward with Abe. Up to Riegel, who just got denied on that breakaway opportunity. Kronenbuhl to Abe. Holds it at the corner. Down low now. Riegel looking for space, looking for an option, tried to force it down the middle, but nothing available to him as Austria, a misconnected pass will lead to an icing call. So an offensive zone face-off for the Swiss.
Yeah, important face-off here now for Olivia Kiss. She has to win this.
As you get a look there at the big hit there from the Pachanig. Over the boards and into the bench.
Yeah, that's embarrassment.
It's the defensive zone draw there won by Austria's. You mentioned Kiss. She has done a much better job at the face-off dot as a potential breakaway for Riegel, but a nice poke check there from Tonitz. Him and the Pachanig, a dual effort to not allow that quick chance for Switzerland. Tonitz in control of it. 8 minutes to go. We have got a great game on our hands. Do not touch off of that tab. If you are watching on a computer, do not swipe off of that app if you're watching on YouTube on your phone. As a nice save there from Braun. A delayed penalty will put Switzerland on the power play, but Braun, a desperation animation, just keeps that puck out. He's going to be even busier with a power play opportunity coming up here for the Swiss.
Yeah, the man of the hour, Max Tonitz, who didn't take penalties, but now he took one instead. So yeah, and this is really an important period of the game. If the Swiss score here, well, I think it's good night.
See what they can do with it. Again, 2 for 2 on the power play in game one. This is their first of this game. Quick shot from the point, blocked easily there by Kleppa, who's just going to backskate and dump it out. That'll kill a good chunk of time there for Austria. Riegel with it. Back to the point. Grossen in control. Slows it down. Over to Krahenbuhl as a shot saved and stopped by Braun, who will hold on and freeze it.
Yeah, and Braun was late to go from post to post there, so it's real close, but he was there finally.
Get a look at the chance there in front earlier by Riegel. He's had a couple of them, including that breakaway earlier on, that the flying poke check from Braun in combination with the poke check from behind by Tonitz stopped from him being able to potentially break this game open to give Switzerland the lead back. He would be somebody to watch. He has been active on that left wing side. You'll see him on the right side of your screen with the pink circle around him. Defensive zone faceoff won by Austria. Turned over, however, in their own zone. This is Riegel with it, the high faceoff circle. Circling around, up to the point to Krahenbuhl. Weak shot, stopped there by Kleppa, who looked like he was going to maybe go for it and opted not to. We'll just dump it off. That's a smart play there from Austria to kind of bait Switzerland in the chasing and giving them an easy clear out, as that will do it for the Switzerland power play. Tonitz up to Kleppa. Austria in the offensive zone. Looking, could not find anything there. Here's a chance here for Riegel. 1-on-1, maybe 2-on-2. Riegel poke checked the way there. Nice defensive play from the right winger, Oliver Knapp. Forward-on-forward crime there, as there'll be an icing. And Switzerland will get another offensive zone draw coming up.
Yeah, Swiss is really finding Riegler in dangerous positions.
And remember, these are critical points for both sides. Austria coming in with a goose egg. No points so far through 3 games in this tournament. Switzerland, on the other side, 6 points in 3 games, looking to shore up their potential place in the playoffs and stay in contention for the #1 spot in Group C. Austria cannot lose in regulation. If they do, they are out of playoff contention and will be in the playoff relegation series to keep their place in Division A. It's a big hit there from Knapp. Will give Austria possession with less than 2 minutes to play. Knapp with it. Couldn't hold on to that puck as it's found now by the Swiss. Krahenbuhl tried to fly that one up to the centerman Hoffman, but couldn't connect. Less than a minute to go. Can one of these two sides find the winner in regulation, or will we have an overtime? Saw some overtime in our first broadcast. Would not be surprised to see at least 1 or 2 more. These 2 teams on track to do it so far. Neutral zone draw. Won by Austria. Kiss controlling it. Over to Knapp. Pass in front. Puck loose. Battled for. Found by Knapp for Austria. Over to Kiss. Back to the point to Tonitz. 35 seconds to play now. Austria looking to push. They need a regulation win. They need the 3 points. Can they find it on this possession? Bump from behind, but gets it back. Kleppa to Kiss. Puck loose in front. Found, however, by the Swiss. Krahenbuhl with possession. 20 seconds to go. Abe trying to move it forward to Hoffman, but could not hit him in stride. Nearly turned over, but Hoffman not able to get control of it. Kiss at the left boards, bumped off of that puck. 8 seconds to go. 1 more chance for Switzerland. Riegel with it, but a hair off sides. Both Hoffman and Abe were ahead of Riegel. They were not connected on that transition.
Yeah, now we think we go to overtime, and well, that was the chance for Austria, I guess.
5.2 seconds to go. It would take a clean face-off win and a quick transition up the ice. Switzerland looking to do it. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to, and they won't. 60 minutes, not enough. We're going to overtime for the first time today. Man, what a difference between game 1 and game 2. These 2 teams look more closer to what we expected coming into the day. Very balanced, very even, a little bit of give and a little bit of take. And now the next goal, wins it for one of these two sides. The question now, which one is going to be able to get it?
I think Switzerland was feeling very confident that maybe they would win this game easy. And this is something that happens to a lot of teams when they win a lot of games and then they have the too much of a safe feeling and so on. So, but Austria did also play very well. And I must say, Braun in the goal was really stupendous. So, unfortunately, they didn't last that, and they couldn't do. They were close to 3 and 4-1, and instead it went 2-2 there in the end when they had the pressure. So, well, good play from the Swiss team also, of course.
Yeah, you mentioned Braun. So far through 3 games in this tournament, a 78.9 save percentage. So despite the team in front of him struggling a little bit, he has been spectacular for this Austrian side. Overtime, remember, in game 1, Switzerland was dominant. They won 5-0, shut out Austria. Just the second shutout of this tournament so far, but the Austrians, with a chip on their shoulder, have come out hitting and hitting hard, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. They couldn't afford a regulation loss, and they did at least avoid that, so they are not totally out yet, but they still really need the points here. As working his way through there was Kleppa. The nice chance was stopped, however, by Schlupp.
Yeah, good play from Klepp. Little dangle, as I said, maybe not the best way, but he played through there.
Offensive zone face-off for Kiss to the left side of Schlupp. It's one in the defensive zone by Switzerland, who move it up quickly, but turn it over. Tonitz trying to force that one up to the right side, but not available to him. Abe, slap shot pass to the other side, given chase and found first by Napachnik for Austria. Does the same play, but to a more successful result. Kleppa with it, holding it, waiting, pass across, intercepted, however, by Grossen. Riegel with it for the Swiss now in the offensive end. There's a shot loose in front. Braun trying to get control of it, and finally does, and he's not going to take any chances.
Yeah, close there. AB was there with the return, but no, Braun was in the way.
As you get a look at another big hit, Austria, they've not been afraid to throw the body around and be physical in this game, which is not too surprising. As we mentioned, a lot of these players like to play with those big body builds. As a shot from the point was blocked in front, puck scrummed for and found by Austria first. Kleppa in the neutral zone tried to pass it towards the middle, but it was intercepted. Hoffman with it. He's been quiet so far in this game ever since that first goal. Tonitz for Austria has it. Gives it over to Kleppa. Back to the point. The Napachnik shot on. Saved there by Schlupp as it was loose for a second, but found by his teammates in front of him. Riegel with it now. Past the blue line. Holding. Looking shot on. Gloved away by Braun. And he'll hold on for the whistle. Both for the goaltenders. Braun for Austria. Schlupp for Switzerland. Flexing their muscle a little bit here as we're going to get a pause and a timeout. You get a look at the stats there, Peter. Again, as we've talked about, pretty even so far throughout this game. You're seeing that in the numbers as well.
Yeah, and I mean, what we see here is actually what we see in the game also. It's quite natural. So a much better game from both sides. Maybe a little overwhelming with 8 penalty minutes there from the Swiss side, but Austin hasn't done good enough to score when they need it. So, yeah.
As you saw the little graphic on the screen there, 15 saves so far for Braun in this contest. He has been the MVP for this Austria team so far throughout their World Cup run. Can he carry them to their first victory? That's a chance at front shot, and they score! The captain, Brian Abe, wins it for Switzerland in overtime.
Maybe the sport is not fair. Austria had the game. This game was theirs, but Switzerland came through in the end and when it matters. And well, congratulations to them.
It was a hard-fought win, but a win nevertheless. Switzerland escapes Austria. A 3-1 win in OT, and as we mentioned, it was the captain, Brian Abe, who gets the win for the Swiss. As you see that quick pass there the little cut, the little move there from Regal. He finds his fellow winger in front. And for Braun, not a whole lot he could do there. He was just a little bit late to getting to it. He had that desperation animation and just was not able to get that left toe over to that left post to make the stop.
Yeah, and two chances ago, Ebe was there before, but then Braun saved it, and but not the second time. And here we see how it looks live. And
Yeah,
Switzerland
you get a look now.
yeah, has taken a little command here thanks to this. It's nice to see that Austria at least has 1 point and not zero. So
Yeah, and obviously the loss for Austria, that does not completely eliminate them from playoff contention. However, Norway, considering that they have six there in control of that last spot, it really only takes them to get a point or two for Austria to be out of the running for that last playoff spot. So it would take a lot to happen for Austria to make their way into that top two. So more than likely, looking for that relegation promotion playoff in their future. But for the Swiss, as you mentioned, huge result for them. They take sole possession of the first place. And now that their job is done, they're going to kick back, grab some popcorn, maybe a nice cold drink, and watch this next series that we have coming up between Norway and Germany, which is sure to be a really fun match between those two teams.
yeah, and as you say, the Norway takes 3 points now. One of the games, then you get 9 points. And also can only get 8 points if they, or I mean 7 points. So I mean it doesn't look good for Austria. But of course, anything can happen if we have two uh, overtime games. Norway wins one of them, and Germany wins the other. Well, then, then everything is open. But I don't know. I see a strong Norway winning the first game against Germany if nothing else happens. So and then I think then the group is more or less clear. Well, Germany has a chance, of course, to climb up, depending also if they win one of the games. So yeah, it's anything can happen.
Yeah, Austria, they did enough to at least keep themselves mathematically alive. However, really needed the regulation win or a bare minimum the overtime victory to have a somewhat realistic chance. Now they're going to have to hope for absolute chaos to break loose in front of them. But let's focus on the teams at 2 and 3 that are about to face off here, Peter.
Exactly.
Germany and Norway. We will
Yeah.
be looking at the perspective from Germany. Let's give you their starting lineup. At that center spot, you've got Maximilian Kadinger, while on the left wing side, Florian Grieshbaum, and on the right wing side, Jamie Fischer. Well, back on the fence, Maximilian Casimir, and on the right defense, it'll be Niklas Schmitz. While in between the pipes, Peter Creighton. And I'll ask you, what stands out to you about this Germany side that, as we mentioned, coming into this World Cup, was seen as the favorite to win this group and has had a little bit of a struggle getting out of the gate so far?
Yeah, Peter Creighton in goal. Haven't seen him a lot. What I think will do something is Griechenbaum. I think he's done good before. He can do well now also. Well, Kattinger, the center, I think he has contributed a little, but it's interesting to see the first game and see if maybe Schmitz from the defense position has any offense to serve. So yeah, an interesting matchup.
Yeah, yeah, that's a deep hero chemistry back there as well. Kasemaya and Schmitz played together in the past. They played together in this tournament last season as well. The only two returners from last season's World Cup for this Germany side. So going to be interesting to see how those two can maybe help lead the charge for the Germans here today. Well, on the other side, we have Norway, another team that was seen as a favorite. These were really the top two that everyone had their pen circled around coming in this tournament out of Group C. At center, Henning Duranga at that middle spot. While on the left wing side, it is Matthias Andre. On his opposite side, on the right wing, Benjamin Dalu. While back on the fence, on the left side, Svein Rode. And on the right side, Joachim Rage. While in between the pipes in goal is Marcus Irvik. And I'll ask you, what about this team has been so good so far that stands out to you? We mentioned that they came in as the leaders of this group. Not too shocking, but a lot of names that maybe some people aren't all that familiar with, but this team just seems to always step up every single year and put themselves in the conversation to make a playoff run.
Well, for me, Henning Drange or Taco Bag is the one that I think we should look to, or Norway should look to. 4 points in the last games. Also, Andre, who had 5 points. So I think those two is something that Germany has to watch out for.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned, these were two teams that were in the same group last season. If you weren't with us earlier, we brought that stat up. And Norway and Germany, they ended up being the 6 and 7 seed. Germany won the group over Norway by just one singular point. So we kind of see how these two have a history. They are close to one another. Maybe not a rivalry of sorts, but still two teams that are definitely kind of giving each other a bit of a nudge or pushing each other to the best that they can be.
Yeah. And I think the goalies here also will, as in every game, be one of the centerpiece. So we shall see.
You go back to the matchup last season, it was a dominant performance for Norway. They won that game 9-4. And ironically, how about this? It was a year ago today, May 14th, when these two sides played. So pretty interesting there, the history between these two countries as we are underway and ready to go. Once again, we are watching from the viewpoint of Germany. They are wearing the black and yellow uniforms, while Norway in their white and blue. Is a quick chance there from the point for Germany. Was denied by Erdvik. Norway now on the offensive end as Drange lifted over at the right boards, trying to work it down low behind the net. Finds Andre, now to Rode. A shot on there from Rode. It was blocked in front, and now Germany on the counterattack as they weren't able to all get connected at the blue line, and an offside call.
It was an offside. I thought, why didn't anyone cheer? It went in, but I guess that's why.
Neutral zone face-off here coming up is, again, the two centers, Drange for Norway and Kadinger for Germany. Two players that have proven to be very dynamic offensive pieces for their respective teams. So you're going to see a lot of activation from the middle of the ice from both of these two sides in this game as another offside call.
Yeah, they are
these
really
teams kind of trying to find their footing here offensively.
They do, and they stand tall on the blue line, both teams. So yeah.
Face off, found first by Germany, but the puck loose and given away to Norway. Drange gives it to Andre, turned over immediately. A nice defensive play there, made by Schmitz. Maya with it, trying to push it forward, but turned over once again. So far, stifling defense. The story of this game is, you guessed it, another offside here. Called early in this game. Third one in just 6 minutes.
They want us to speak a lot more.
A little more airtime for us, right? They wanted to test our knowledge, see how much we prep for the game.
We have.
Have some things to talk about. Norway now with possession. Gallo with it. He has some space there, as that was a near dangerous chance. Creighton able to make the stop, however. And maybe trying to find some space opening up as Norway will get the offensive zone face-off, but it's pushed out into the neutral zone as Rode will move it forward. Giving up to Drange. Back to Rode. Rode down low. Gets it back at the point. Rage now with it at the point. One-time shot from afar, blockered away by Creighton. A great save there, easily the best chance of the day for either side. Gallo trying to push forward, but an offside called once again.
Yeah, I looked into the goalies there, and the German has had the last two games to 77 in save percentage, while the Norwegian has 86, so a little difference there.
Wow, really good stat there. It's going to be interesting to see as a shot on net is stopped. Once again there by Creighton, and you're seeing Norway start to find the rhythm. It's a turnover in their own zone. Andre shot on, blocked away there again by Creighton, off the left toe. Full pressure for the Norwegians. Rode at the point, pushing it forward once again. Back to Rage. Really working it from that high point here is Norway, working it with the defense and down low. Controlled by Durange, the centerman. Towards the middle, trying to pass in the front, but it's intercepted by Schmitz and dumped away. No icing going to be called. Not sure Norway is going to be happy with that, but that kills off the full pressure. Big hit there in the middle of the ice, but Germany keeps possession. Turned over, however, right after at the left boards. It's a battle forward and found by Germany again. Shot block in the front, puck loose in the corner. Scrum forward found by Rage for Norway. 5 minutes to go here in the first period. A slow moving first, but Norway has started to pick the pace up a little bit. Germany still looking to find their rhythm. Norway in the offensive zone did not have much going for them. Case Mayo with it. And over at the boards. And it feels like so far Germany just not able to break it in cleanly into the offensive zone of it. Norway with possession once again after another turnover.
Yeah, and just one shot from the German team.
Norway in the offensive zone. Rode shot goes wide. Up behind the net, found again. Oh, a near chance to Dalo. Haven't called his name yet, but he couldn't get all of that puck on his stick. Here comes Germany. Quick opportunity. Backhand shot. Hits the side of the post. Germany still pressuring. Another shot there. That one was stopped. There's another chance in front. Stopped again by Erdevik. 17 seconds and a breakaway for Norway. Denied by Creighton. All of the action happening. All of a sudden, another chance there. Blocked in front by the defense. It'll be cleared out, and that will do it for the opening period. So we went from slow, offsides, no shots, to everything unleashing there in the final 2 minutes. But after all of that, still looking for our first goal. 0-0, your score after 20 minutes.
It was worth the wait, maybe, but turnover after turnover in the beginning from the German team, and Creighton really saved the day here. I mean, it's been stupendous. And then, of course, the Norwegian goalie, Erwin, has done also some really good saves in the end. So, yeah, a really mixed game where Norway, and as I said, Germany only had one shot at goal before the last minute, and then they just exploded in some kind of frenzy. So, yeah, interesting.
And you get a look at the stats. It's been all Norway in terms of time and attack, almost 4 minutes worth of time and attack. And in Germany, most of their shots there came in that last sequence. They were stuck on one for most of that first period, but had back-to-back chances there in the latter stages. But again, still tied at 0 after 20 minutes. We'll see who can break this thing open first. We're underway for period number 2. Once again, you are watching the eHockey World Cup for 2026, powered by SportsGamer and Leaguegaming. We've had some fun action here so far today. A 5-0 win for Switzerland to start things out, followed by a 3-2 overtime victory for the Swiss over Austria, collecting 5 out of possible 6 points to give them the lead in Group C. Norway held that lead in the group coming into today. You know, Switzerland watching with full attention to this series to see where their standing will more than likely be here after tonight. Norway with possession, rolling it around, trying to find some space behind the net. The pass across, shot did not go off in time. A little bit of hesitation. And that may have cost Norway a really good chance as Rode's shot was blocked in front. Another chance, he still kept that puck on his stick somehow. Rode moving it forward, puck loose, found by Dalo, but poke checked away, and Durange gets it at the point. Down to Rode now. Pass on front, shot on, stopped by Creighton. And he doesn't want to take any chances after that frenzy. He's going to hold on for the whistle.
Yeah, and even though there was a shot to Creighton, it didn't register, so maybe it went on the side. Anyway, he's been playing fantastic. Both goalies has been tested, but I think there's going to be one goal, and that's going to be like just from nowhere.
Offensive zone draw lost by Norway, and Germany wasting no time on the counterattack. They move it forward. Griesbaum to Schmitz, who's that right defenseman pushing up as a forward. And let's see if Norway can make them pay as they turn it over. As a shot in front, and they score! Norway starts off the scoring with a quick counterattack, and it's Mathias Andre who kicks things off for the Norwegians.
Yep, 5 points, last 2 games. Now he has his 6 points.
And how about the quick counterattack there? We mentioned it, Germany, the right defenseman, Niklas Schmitz, he was pushing up there trying to make something happen. In Norway, when they went on the counterattack, a little bit of a lack of defense, gave them that quick chance, and they were able to convert. A 1-0 lead for Norway over Germany. As they're not done, a 2-on-1, Dalo has Andre Whiffle try to take it for himself, and a sliding Creighton was there as well, but he couldn't get a shot off. Germany shot from a well far away, but an easy save from Erdvik. Rage to Durange. Moves it down low to the corner. It's Andre, a quick shot there from an odd angle, will stop there by Creighton. Kadinger will just dump this in, and it'll be found first by Rode. It's turned over, however, in their own zone. Germany has a chance. bMaJuH, the grease bomb, one-time blast, and they score! Niklas Schmitz with a blast from the right point, and Germany ties this thing back up at 1.
Yep, that turnover was costly, really bad.
As you get another look at it, what a rip from Niklas Schmitz over at that right point side. He's known to be somebody that can make plays happen offensively. And that time he does it to give his team their first goal of this series and to tie this game at 1 apiece just past the halfway point. Norway trying to respond. The shot hits the side of the post. And here comes Germany now the other way. Fischer controlling it. Holding. Pass to Kadinger. Couldn't get the shot off before it was poked away by Dalo. Dalo stopping, trying to force it down the middle, but it was turned over as Schmitz gets it. bMaJuH looking. At the left boards. Dumps it down low, but it's turned over. Approaching the 5-minute mark in period 2. Tied at 1 apiece after a scoreless first period, as the offside will lead to a neutral zone face-off coming up.
Yeah, Germany should use bMaJuH. His build is really big and strong, while Dale is fast and then weaker. So I think some hits there would stop Norway's counterattacks all the time.
That's a good point. That's something that we saw Austria doing in game 2, kind of utilizing some of those bigger bodies to throw off the Switzerland team offensively, who was kind of getting whatever they wanted in the game 1. Game 2, not so easy just because they utilized that physicality to their advantage. So it'll be interesting to see maybe Germany use some of their bigger bodies for the same purposes. They weren't able to get into the offensive zone cleanly, as Dalo has it in the neutral zone for Norway, and I like that. A quick reset to get their offense collected. Not something that we saw too much in game 1, but Norway utilizing it there. Didn't end up in resulting in anything positive for them, but still a smart play. Here comes Germany down the other end. The shot snagged away by Erdvik.
Yeah, that was a save. Save of the day.
The goaltending has had to step up at really sudden points really for both of these two sides. As man, Kadinger had a really good look there, high and in tight, but Erdvik was right where he needed to be to make that stop, and a flashy little glove save animation on top of it all. Less than a minute to play. Norway has it in the neutral zone as Rage gets it over from Rode. Passed over to Andre. Turned over as he couldn't hold on to possession. 10 seconds to go now. bMaJuH moves it up. Fischer shot on as it was nearly loose there in that blue paint, but Erdvik makes a save and gets a hold on it with 2.8 to play.
Yeah, no, 8-8 in shots, and this matchup has been different from the other two that we saw. That almost always, all the chances have been really dangerous for both teams. So yeah, good goalkeeping there.
As through 2 periods, 1 goal for each side, and It was Niklas Schmitz on this rip from the right point that you see here, able to beat Erdovic and tie this thing at 1 apiece. And Peter, it feels like this game was everything that we thought it was going to be. Very back and forth, very close between these two teams that are familiar with each other and have a good bit of history with one another. And again, game 1 that could be really, really big coming in the game 2, considering that these two teams, only 3 points separate them in the Group C standings.
Yeah, and two teams that plays very differently. Norway more lighter on their steps and counterattack, while Germany has the base of being really solid, also passing a lot. And even though it's not a fast team, they get in the zone and have some chances. And then, of course, at both ends, two really fantastic goalkeepers. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting, and I'm not going to be surprised if this go to overtime and we will be maybe if we are lucky going to bed after midnight in Europe. So
it's days like this where I am thankful to be in North America, because it is only around 2:30 in the afternoon here. So
yeah,
I've got all night. Not so much for you or our viewers. I know you guys are starting thinking about bed here soon, but nevertheless, these two teams, they are going at each other, punch for punch, hit for hit. We might be here for a bit, so get comfortable, folks, as we've got a fun game and a fun third period coming up. You are watching the eHockey World Cup for 2026, presented by SportsGamer and Leaguegaming.com. Brandon Bigsby, Peter Novara with you on the call. Lauri Enström on the production here is an offside there from Norway as they are trying to push it forward on the other end.
yeah. And as I said, faster Norway, but the offside rules still oblige with them, even though they are so fast. So too fast in this game.
It's going to be really interesting. Something that I noticed there during that intermission is that Norway had about 8 minutes of time on attack, but just 8 shots on net. So only 1 shot per minute that they have been in the offensive zone. I'm interested to see if they maybe adjust that just a little bit and maybe do get a little bit more shot happy and try to test the goaltender and Creighton just a little bit more than what they have so far. Pass across there from Fischer, really dangerous. Sorry, go ahead.
Nash, if you shoot at the goal, you have chances to score. So yeah.
Norway going to try to get some of those chances here as Durange with it over at the left boards. Dumps it down low, puck given chase, and scrum forward, tied up and found by the Germans. Fischer moving up and has some space, trying to split those two defenders. Gives it back over to Kadinger. A quick shot blockered away by Erdovic. Germany still on the pounce, however, another chance blocked side away. Full pressure here for Germany, but Norway gets possession and gets out of danger for now. It's turned over in the neutral zone, and Germany still on the attack once again. As a quick shot blocked in front there by Rode for Norway. Germany trying to keep that pressure as you see the energy bars for Norway very low. They are skating real slowly because of that full pressure that drains your energy, having to chase around for so long defensively. You saw that really hurt them as they tried to counterattack on the other end. Germany already back in the offensive zone and once again on the attack. Kadinger with it. At that red dot the right side, but was pretty much stuffed there as he tried to get a shot on net. Here's Dalu with a shot on off of the glove of Creighton. Germany takes over possession, 11:30 to play here in period number 3. We are still tied at 1 apiece. It was Matthias Andre who got the first goal of the game for Norway, but not too long after, Niklas Schmitz tied things up for Germany. Both of those goals were in the second period and were only a few minutes apart from one another. It's an offside called with 10:03 to play in regulation.
Yeah, and here we see the difference, as you mentioned. Norway has 1 shot. Germany, they got these 4 shots, all in this kind of when they were really closing in.
Dalu with a pass across, shot on off of the left toe of Creighton. Another chance there, puck loose on the side of the cage and found by Germany. Germany now looking to counter. Schmitz with it. Gives it over to Griesbaum. Griesbaum shot on off of the blocker side of Erdovic. 13th shot of the game for Germany right there. Past the 8-minute mark. Germany gets it off of the Norway turnover, looks to operate into the offensive zone. They do get there. Kattinger with it, pass across, puck loose. However, Norway gets in front of it, and here they come in the counterattack with Dalu down the right boards. Beautiful move, pass in front, picked off there by Germany. A nice defensive play. Lode with it, holding it at the boards. Turned over as he didn't have a pass available to him. 5.5 minutes to go. Just the longer this thing goes on, Peter, the more it feels like the next goal is going to be the winner. Shot from the point blocked. Off of the skate of a Germany defender, but it's turned right back over, and Norway with another opportunity. They can't hold on to it for long enough to make anything sustain. 3:30 now to play in the third period. Dumped in by bMaJuH. Found first by Norway. Lode on the attack first and trying to push it forward. Turned over, a nice interception from the Germany defense, and here comes Schmitz moving forward. And offsides after that puck was poke-checked over to Griesbaum, who wasn't past the blue line just yet.
Yeah, both teams a lot of turnovers. I would be not surprised if they have like 65% of passing right now, both of them, because they're doing really bad when it comes to the passing.
Yeah, and some of that can be credited to the defense, obviously, being able to get in front of those lanes, but it feels like really from the start of this game, both offenses just feeling a little bit disjointed. But nevertheless, both sides still with a chance to win and collect 3 points as a one-timer blocked in front. I think it was actually Kattinger who blocked his own man's shot. Germany still with a chance offensively, but not able to hold on to possession. Less than a minute to go. Here in the third period, still tied at 1. Norway looking to get the answer to give themselves the lead, but it's turned over. Fischer has space and he has some speed. Nice job from Lauri catching up. He has friends on the shot and they score! Griesbaum takes the lead for Germany with less than a minute to go.
Yeah, and these 2 turnovers, 2 goals. How costly isn't this?
And it was actually bMaJuH who got that one. I thought it was a green emblem. It was actually a teal, so please do forgive me. But man, oh man, Germany breaks through, and they have a 2-1 lead with 41 seconds remaining. Now, the question, can they hold on to it?
Yeah.
They have possession here. Schmitz past the blue line. Gives it to Griesbaum. Down low to Fischer. A delayed penalty called against Norway. A power play coming up for the Germans. A critical error for Norway.
Yeah, Germany can just
Fischer holding it. Germany killing all of the time. Such an impressive possession here. Griesbaum with it. Norway cannot touch up on this puck. They finally do with 8.7 seconds remaining. A masterclass in killing time with the lead there from the Germans.
Yeah, and I can hear the Austrian just cheering their German counterpart, because this was really a result in their way.
It was Joachim Rage with the penalty, and the penalty happened with about 30 seconds left. So a 22-second difference between the penalty happened and when they were finally able to touch up on it. Germany wins the faceoff. They're not thinking about scoring. They're going to hold this puck behind the net, and they're going to coast to a 2-1 victory. It's the defenders who started the show, Niklas Schmitz, and the other defenseman who got the game-winning goal, Maximilian bMaJuH. They win it for Germany, 2-1 in regulation, and all of a sudden, Peter, Group C got a little more interesting.
Very interesting, and it's going to be also very interesting to hear what the Norwegian team are talking about now during the intermission, because I think turnovers is what they lost this time. 2 turnovers and 2 goals, and otherwise a very tight and a very good goalkeeping matchup.
Yeah, I mean, we saw multiple big saves, both from Peter Creighton and then on the other side with Ervik. But, I mean, at the end of the day, again, the 2 defenders for Germany, the guys that we typically would not look at for goal scoring, are the ones that get the pair of goals for Germany to win this game. And gosh, if you are Norway, that has to be such a crushing blow. You come into today leading the group. You saw what Switzerland was able to do in their series, collecting 5 points. And now you don't just lose, but you had a chance to even at least steal a point, right? Take it to overtime, get at least 1 point and take a point or two away from Germany in the process, who's right behind you. And you allow that goal with 41 seconds left to give Germany all 3 points. And all of a sudden, the entire landscape and the entire outlook of where Norway stands in this group looks a little bit different than what it did when there was just a minute to play.
Yeah, well, the strategy way of these games are like rock, paper, and scissors. And Norway, they have these fast players, and therefore it's crucial that the passing is 100%. And it didn't work. Germany, on the other hand, they were more slow and they can hold the puck. And, well, they won this round because of that. I say if you have a passing team, then you need a more better percentage and not that many turnovers.
Big thank you to our streamer over on the German side giving us all these replays. And you saw that was the tying goal there from Schmitz. Here was the game winner from Kasmaya. And you see, it started out just with a quick rush, right? I mean, Norway had it in the offensive end, and then all of a sudden, Germany's on the other end and on the attack.
Yeah, and it goes very fast there too. But no, I think Norway, they don't need to change anything in their game style. They just need to do better passes. So otherwise, this is going to be a very strange list. Now, I think 6 points for both teams there. Win in overtime will be 2 points for each of them, which means 8 anyway. So Austria is out of it, no matter how this game ends. So
Yeah, that Germany win did unfortunately eliminate Austria from any chance of being able to find their way forward. So an unfortunate result for them. However, they do still have that relegation promotion playoff to keep their place in Group A. And, kind of talking a little
yeah,
bit about Austria, you want to make sure you give them their respect and their flowers. If they can play the way they did in that last game, in that last series that we just saw, you feel like they should be able to keep their place in the division. It's just a bit of a slow start to this tournament. And unfortunately, that caught up with them a little bit. In theory, still alive, but again, either Germany or Norway, they're going to find their way forward to at least 2 to 3 points. Austria, with just 2 more games remaining, cannot have more than 7. So it does kind of take them out of it. But you kind of look towards this top 3 now here. And you see Switzerland sitting there with 8 points, Norway and Germany both with 6. This is
yeah,
going to be very, very interesting because now, again, after this, each team with just 2 more games remaining, whoever wins this game puts themselves in a very favorable position to put themselves into the playoffs.
yeah. And the best result, if we want to have real tension, is like it's an overtime win again. So any
Yeah.
team will then have 1 point, and the other one have 2. So we have 8, 8, and 7 going into the last round. So then, I mean, then all gloves are off and everything is, I mean, just play and win. It's not that you can rely on that you have a better percentage or whatever. It's just winning that matters now.
Yeah, and I think if you're Switzerland, you are really rooting for it overtime because you would prefer to be in a tiebreaker situation with whoever wins that game rather than them jumping a point ahead of you. So if you're Swiss, I think you're hoping that the game goes to overtime. I'm sure they were really hoping that Germany didn't have that game winner in regulation, but that was not how things ended up working out for them. And things get really interesting once again because, as we mentioned, just 2 more games for each side after this. And you look at some of the series that are remaining. Germany will play against Austria. Norway will play against Switzerland. So the Norway-Swiss matchup, who could very well be 1 and 2, could be playing each other for that number 1 spot, while the loser, depending on how things shape out, could find themselves totally out of the playoffs if Germany is able to collect all the points they can against Austria. So a lot of storyline, a lot of chaos. You see both teams, however, ready to go here for game number 2. Peter, I'll ask you, what are you going to be looking for in the second matchup after we just saw such a tightly contested game between these two in game number 1?
Yeah, I think Germany has to be careful now because they have poked into the hornet's nest. Now Norway is really angry about this loss. and they are doing everything now. And I think they have also looked into this passing problem that I was talking about and on the turnovers. I think we're going to see a Norway exploding. If not, then I don't know.
We saw the losing team surge in game 2. Austria, after losing 5-0, really doing a good job against Swiss despite losing that game 3-2 in overtime. They looked like a much different team. Norway hoping for something similar as they had a quick shot, but it was blocked in front there. Another chance there, but intercepted as Schmitz comes up the other end. Again, both of the goals from Germany in game 1 were by their defensemen, so none of the 3 forwards have been able to find the back of the net so far here today for the German side. But they don't care. They got the win nevertheless. That's bMaJuH with it here for Germany. Moves up to Schmitz. To the left side, now to Griesbaum. From behind and turned over as Norway now takes over possession. Andre with it. Holding, gets it back to Rage. Moving forward, trying to give it over to Dalu, but could not get that shot off cleanly as Germany now will take over possession. Kind of a similar feel from how game 1 started. Both teams really struggling to find time and space, but Germany says not for long. We'll find our way, and they do with the opening goal. It's Kadinger, the captain, who breaks it open for the Germans.
Yeah, they did really nice work. Asmin was instrumental from the beginning of the attack. They did everything right. They find the passing lane, and of course, the captain find the spot to shoot and score.
Oh, captain, my captain, Max Kadinger breaks things open first, and it didn't take till the second period. This time, just 5 minutes in, Norway looking for a response. They had a chance, but it was stopped by Creighton.
Wow, what a save by Creighton. I mean, I praised him the first game, and this is not, well, he's not disappointing this time either.
Here comes on the other end, Norway, looking to tie this thing back up. Rage pass across and they score! Norway says right back at ya. It's Dranga who knocks things back up.
Yeah, and this was really, I mean, I felt like this was happening first, and I think Norway got a little surprised by the 1-0 goal from Germany. But now I think they are in focus. They are on. Well, now Germany, you have to watch out, because now I think it's going to be a roller coaster.
We wouldn't lie to you guys. We told you this was going to be a really fun game too, and so far these two squads are delivering. Norway trying to attack once again. Durango with a shot on. Looks like it may have been off of the right pad of Creighton. Norway still on the attack. The pass, however, was intercepted by Schmitz. Moves over to the left side. Griesbaum with it. Up to the point. Griesbaum gets it back. Shot on. Swept aside there by Erdevik. Norway takes over possession. Andre with it, moves it back. Rage moves forward. That shot off of the glove of Creighton. He has been very busy here over the last few minutes. Germany on the other end is a backhand shot. It's off of the side of Erdevik, it looked like. As Norway now trying to go down the other way, but they turn it over. They eventually get it back as Germany wasn't able to capitalize. In the offensive zone now, the Norwegians. Rage at the point. Over to Rode. There's a quick chance there in front there. Kind of swept aside there by Creighton rather harmlessly. Now Germany in the offensive zone with Griesbaum. At the left corner. Holds it. Moves it down to the opposite sideboard. The Fischer now to the point. The Schmitz. The Kadinger backhand shot gloved away by Erdevik, who will hold on for the freeze.
Well, goalies, again, really doing a great job, but Creighton is really in the way of the Norway strategy of actually taking the lead. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Offensive zone face-off for Germany to the left side of Erdevik. One in the defensive zone by Norway. And they're moving it up pretty quickly here. Here's Dalo with it. Unable to hold on to it for long, however, as Griesbaum takes it away and moves up to Kadinger. Got the lone goal so far for Germany. As a quick shot on, blocker aside by Erdevik. Full pressure for Germany. Fischer couldn't get hold of that puck on the pass. And Norway is going to kill off that full pressure as much as they can, but not able to do so just yet. Get it back. Barely turned over, but found by Dalu, who's just going to dump this one in to help Norway kind of catch their breath and get some of their stamina back. Loose bomb. In behind the net, and Germany not even going to give chase. They're just going to reset things. Andre in the offensive zone for Norway. Drange. That's the point. Rode. Back to Drange. Shot on from Dogwood. Another chance in front. That one stopped by Creighton. And he's seen enough. He's going to hold on for it for the whistle.
Yeah, and there was a shot from really close range, and still he was in the way, so kudos.
You mentioned a little bit about the physicality, maybe seeing it ramp up. You saw a little bit of it there from Benjamin Dalu, right winger for Norway. He's the one that had that dangerous chance there as well, as Germany wins the faceoff in their own zone, and they move it up quickly. Loose bomb, not able to connect with his fellow forwards, an offside called at the blue line.
Yeah, well, two teams who are eager to score and come into the offensive zone. And of course, offside is always there.
Neutral zone draw, 85 seconds to go here in period number 1. A 1-1 score. These two teams didn't score at all in the first period of game 1. They wasted no time in game 2 getting on the score sheet. As here's a chance here, a potential breakaway for Andre, but he's denied by Creighton. What a save! Germany holds serve, and that will do it for the first period. Norway thought they may have had the goal to give them the lead heading into the second, but the goaltender in Peter Creighton, once again, a man not to be denied, but to instead do the denying.
Yeah, and he was really fast, because I saw the Norwegian, I didn't see how it was, but he went left, and then in the final, he went right, but Peter Creighton was still there. I would say, okay, yeah, he goes right and score. No, he then went left, but Peter stayed fast. He didn't move, and yeah, what a chance.
Yeah, and Peter, you've talked about it throughout the series. The goaltending has just been spectacular on both sides. We've seen huge saves, as you saw just then from Peter Creighton, and then on the other side for Norway, you've had Marcus Erdevik step up and make huge saves throughout the series. And we've talked a little bit about how the offenses have struggled, but when they have had those good chances, the goaltenders have not let them capitalize on them.
Yeah, as I said, in the other two games that we saw, Austria and Switzerland, they had a lot of chances, but they weren't that dangerous. I mean, it was 3 or 4 shots. Here we see all the chances are dangerous, but we also see goalies that do everything they can to spoil the day. So yeah, this is not over, and I will be very interested to see the percentage after these 2 games, because as I said before, Creighton has 77 when in the last 2 games that he played, and Ervik had 86, I think. So I think they have changed, or at least come very close to each other now.
Start of the second period, tied at 1. Germany has it in the offensive zone and look to work. Schmitz over to Fischer, trying to pass it in front, but he was tripped up. And Rode will head to the box for Norway. So a power play coming up for the Germans. We've not seen too much special teams action so far between these two sides. A lot of 5-on-5, but now 5-on-4 opportunity.
Yeah, not the worst start of the second period for Norway, but okay. As you said, we haven't seen any special play or power play, so it's going to be interesting and see how they manage.
Offensive zone face-off here for Germany. It's 1 in the defensive zone by Norway. And they immediately clear it out. And that is exactly what you want to see from your penalty kill, wasting no time getting it out of the defensive zone. And it's Casemeyer with it. Dances around and gives up to Schmitz. Again, both goals in game 1 for Germany were by their 2 defensemen. But the shot there from Griezmann was blocked in front, and a quick dump out again from Germany. This is a textbook penalty kill from the Norwegians. Germany not able to get connected there as they tried to break it in. Norway not able to clear it out cleanly themselves, however. Germany on the cycle. 7 seconds to go on the power play. Puck loose in front. Found for a second by Norway and into the neutral zone as Rode now out of the box, and we're back to even strength. Initial one-on-one chance there, but the pass did not connect over to Andre for Norway. Schmitz cannot find much, and Drage gets it for Norway, and they work it into the offensive zone. Has some time, has some space. Puck loose in front after the poke check. Nice job there from the wing duo of Griezmann and Fischer. Excuse me, Griezmann and Fischer. Schmitz holds in the neutral zone. He just dumps that in as it was an offside warning. I think that's the first time we've seen, Peter, where it was an offside warning that did not result in an offside.
Delayed, but not no action, let's say. Yep.
In the offensive zone now. Griezmann could not control it. Still being battled for. A nice job from Casemeier to keep it. Germany just going to go back and reset things. And looking at this defensive formation here, you see a bit of a 1-4 there. 4 skaters just holding at the blue line with 1 attacking and pressuring for Norway. You saw it gave Germany some trouble. They weren't able to break it through, and it led to an offside.
Yeah, and both teams are standing very tight on the blue line, so it's hard to get in. You have to, I think, drop the pass or whatever to get into the zone, and then try to have some kind of pressure, which they haven't really managed on both teams.
Germany in the offensive zone, trying to find that next goal. Both of these teams are as we approach the halfway point of this game. Both goals were in the first period. As Norway, Andre, what a move! Oh my goodness! Norway takes the lead. They do it with some flair as Mathias Andre with the move of the tournament up to this point. Look at what he did.
Yeah, and I think also that Peter Creighton had one of his defenders in the way, so he couldn't move. Unfortunately, but we have 2-1.
Oh, no way, Andre. That was unreal. Norway up 2-1 now in this game, exactly at the halfway point, and they may not be done. This is Andre with it once again. Gives it over to Durange. Holding it at the left corner. He is pressured from behind, but still has it as a puck chance in front. Would not finish it. Norway still in possession, however. Germany finally able to get it off of Norway, and they might have numbers here if they act quickly. Not able to do much with it, however. Durange gives over to Andre. Puck finds in front, nearly dangerous there. Luckily, Schmitz was able to pick that up for the Germans. Griezmann moves it down low to Schmitz. Schmitz holding. He's been very willing to come up from that right D spot and act as a fourth forward at some points. He's going to have to go back quickly as Norway was on the attack. Has a chance from the point there, blocked in front. Germany able to take over possession with 5.5 to play in period 2. Norway with a 2-1 lead now. Mathias Andre with the goal, and another chance here. He could not find Dalu. A great defensive stop there by Casemeier to stop that one before it got started. Chance for the Germans in the offensive end. Griezmann puck loose in front. It is found, however, by Marcus Erdevik, who will hold on for the stoppage.
Yep. Little, how do you say, from the goalies now have not been really that good when it came to the rebounds. Straight out instead of going to the corner. So chances for both teams.
The one-time blast from Schmidt stopped by Erdevik. Here comes Norway down the other end. Tried to force the Andre, but no space to get that pass through to him. Kattinger with it. Moves it over to the right defenseman Schmitz. Pushing forward again as a shot on. Puck loose in front for a moment, but found by Erdevik.
They're trying the goalies really hard here now, and I think they want to have more rebounds, it looks like.
Offensive zone draw for Germany. Both teams with 10 shots on the nose. Norway with possession for a moment as Andre gets it back. Shot in front off the right toe of Creighton. Germany takes over. A minute to play. Griezmann moves it down behind the net, but it's turned over as Rode gets to it first. Durange now with it from his defensive partner is tried to push that forward to Durange, but it's offside.
Hard to say how the next period will be, but I think we're going to have a very tight, and Germany maybe will tie it up.
Dalu had it on his stick, but was poked from behind. Norway within the neutral zone with 3 seconds to go. Maybe one more chance, but they'll just dump it in. And that will do it. For period 2, Norway with a 2-1 lead. It was Mathias Andre with the goal to break the tie. And Peter, boy, did he do it in style.
Yeah, he did. It was, I think, the goal of the evening, and also too bad there that the German goalie was a little stuck there from one of I think it's Schmitz there in the way. But anyway, very nice goal. And as I said, Norway, they were keen on now we have to win. They didn't just count on to have met that kind of goalie from the German goalie. So yeah, interesting third period to come.
Interesting third period with a lot of implications. As we mentioned, if you're just now joining us or if you missed it earlier, and even if you did hear us, we'll remind you again. Huge game in terms of the Group C standings. As of now, Switzerland is in full control of first place in Group C, while Norway and Germany are tied for second with 6 points. So the winner of this game, if it is in regulation, will get 3 points. If it is in overtime, they will get 2 points while the loser gets 1. So this is the period of the tournament up to this point for both of these two teams, and easily the most consequential hockey that we have seen so far in what is early on in this eHockey World Cup. The 2026 eHockey World Cup, powered by SportsGamer GG and LeagueGaming.com. Brandon Bigsby, Peter Novara with you, as here comes Norway down the other end. This is Dalu with a shot, he scores! Norway doubles their lead to 2!
Yeah, with nice attack there, and I didn't see what happened with the German defense there, or if they missed something on the blue line, but he came very easy into the position and then just up into the corner. And well, even though Peter Cretan has been as good as he is, I mean, he can't take everything.
Yeah, that's going to be one that he probably does want to have back, just because Dalu was able to pick him glove side rather cleanly, but like you mentioned, he can't do everything. He's got to have the help in front of him, and so far Norway taking this game over, and they continue to do so. Another goal for the Norwegians. It's 4-1, and it's Mathias Andre, second of the game.
Yeah, and as I said before, German has poked the hornet's nest, and I thought Norway would play like this earlier. They just were late starters, and now instead they are really going to the kill.
Goal 2 for Andre, as we mentioned, and Norway 4 unanswered goals since Germany kicked off the scoring a few minutes into the game in period number 1. What does Germany need to do to reel this thing back in? Because a 3-goal deficit in the first period and the second period, a lot different than the third, where you don't have much time left.
They have to play as they did in the first period. Right now, I don't see any comeback from the German team if they play like they have done now the last 20 minutes.
And how about this? Remember when the shots were 10-10? All of a sudden, Norway, everything they put on net seems to find its way into the back of the net.
Yeah, I think
looking for a response.
Yeah, I think maybe also they have relied too much on their goalies and they've not helped him. So, yeah.
And that change here is a pass across. Found first, however, by Erdvik. He's going to play that one out dangerously so, but it does find one of his teammates as Norway moves into the offensive end. Turned over. It's Kadinger trying to push it forward, but it's turned over. A 2-on-1 for Norway. Andre, pass across, blocked in front. A nice defensive play from Kadinger for Germany. Defense is great, but it's not what the Germans need. They need goals, and they need them fast. Can now be a start. No, it will not. A 3-on-2, maybe 3-on-1. Andre with it, takes it himself behind the net now. Gives it back over, but it's turned over as it hit the side of the net. Now puck tied up, kicked over and found first by Germany as Fischer takes up the right boards with speed. He's been quiet today for the German side on that right wing position as a shot on, saved and denied by Erdvik.
Oh, if just Germany makes 1 goal now, we have a 2-goal deficit, so everything can happen. So, but I think Germany has to do, well, something of a goal in the next 2 minutes, at least.
As you see, 2 of the goals there from Matthias Andre, as we were talking about earlier. He has been the catalyst offensively for this Norway side, but it has really been a team effort. As Norway looking to take a critical 3 points in the standings. They are up by 3 goals with 11:50 to play in the third period. As here comes Norway. Andre tried to find Dalu for a potential breakaway, but the pass was broken up. Germany now with it in the offensive zone. Schmidt pass across there to Fischer, but it was blocked before it had any danger. As an icing going to be called as Germany just dumped that one out.
Yeah, important face-off here now for Germany. If they can win this, create some kind of chances, and maybe even score, that would be good for this game.
Face-off won in the defensive zone by Norway. Controlled by Denange. Gets it past the blue line and is looking for anything to pass or shoot towards, but nothing really became available for him. Denange does end up getting it, however, for the Norwegians. Move 4 by Andre. Nice spin move to give it over to Dalu. Dalu bumped off of that puck there by bMaJuH, and now Germany moving it up the other end quickly. At the left board, tried to pass it towards the middle of the Fischer, but couldn't connect with him. 7:45 to play in the third. Norway in full control, just looking to hold on to this 3-goal cushion that they've built for themselves here in the third period. Denange tried to move it over to Dalu, but an offside call.
One of many offsides, but we have also seen a lot of nice play from both teams. And, well, looking at now what Norway is doing, I think they have it.
Face off in the neutral zone, won by Germany. Schmitz gives it over to Fischer. Over to Kadinger. One-time blast from afar from Grieshbaum, but it was stopped. Here comes Dalu over to Andre. Norway with an opportunity. Andre pass across. Oh, and he scores! Another goal for Norway. 4 unanswered. And it's the centerman, Henning Dranga, who puts it in.
Yeah, and Dranga was really too free there. And I think Germany really has said to themselves that this game is unreachable, and I think this is the end.
This is the end for you, my friend, as one old NHL soundtrack song used to say, is Germany trying to find a little bit of momentum, but not a whole lot going for them. Approaching the 4-minute mark, and Norway still pushing for more. What a move there from Dalu, but he couldn't find anything to finish it off with. Norway still in possession. Nice save there on that shot, as Creighton was able to get a piece of it. 5 goals on 15 shots for the Norwegians. 4 of those goals in this third period. You want to talk about clutch? That right there is the definition of it.
Yeah.
A nice turnover created by Norway. Behind the net. As a pass in front, Denange could not finish it. It was blocked in front. And we have seen all 3 forwards really step up and make plays for this Norway team. Dranga, Andre, Dalu, all of them have been impact players and have scored in this game for the Norwegians, and they have an opportunity to score again as bMaJuH will go to the box there for that penalty.
Yeah, Norway is doing the same as Germany did in the last game. Norway took a penalty then, and now Germany does, and then this will end the game, which already was ended because it's too steep of a hill to climb for Germany right now.
And we're going to get a little first-person penalty box view. It's had everything today. Why not add this to the list? Germany does have it in the offensive zone. They're trying to find just any momentum, really, obviously, with this game being out of reach. But Norway on the counterattack. They played up to the high point. And this is what we've seen from Norway. They love to move that puck around. They do it at a frantic pace. It's so difficult to keep up with as a defender, especially when they have that man advantage. 19 seconds to play. Norway working it, just killing time and waiting for the first open opportunity that comes to them. Germany just not able to get it out of their own zone.
The home crowd, they are standing, They are cheering. They know this is a win.
It is a win, and it's a 5-1 win for Norway. They split the series after dropping a heartbreaker in game one. A dominant response for game number two. All three forwards scored for the Norwegians. And they coast to a 5-1 win, and a huge win for them in terms of the Group C standings. They are now back on top with 9 points in the standings.
Yeah, an interesting chart if we're going to see it soon. But 9 points, then 8 points for Switzerland and 6 for Germany. It's okay. I mean, I maybe thought 8-8-7 would be more interesting, but 9-6-8-6 is also interesting. So
Yeah, and the thing that is really interesting about this is you have to remember this now sets up a situation to where Norway and Switzerland will be playing for that number one spot against one another. Norway has that 1 point cushion coming into it. However, depending on how things go, you have to remember Germany will be playing against Austria. Say Germany steps up and is able to go ahead and snag all 6 points. Depending on how things go, you could see a situation to where Germany could still take that number one spot. So they still have everything ahead of them, and they have a pretty good path into making it into that top two, because Norway and Switzerland, well, they have to go through one another. Germany, if they just take care of business against Austria, who's only collected 1 point, they're in a very good position to find their way in that top two. So a tough loss for Germany and a tough way to end it. They're going to have to play better than what they did in that game two in this upcoming series versus Austria later in the week. But nevertheless, they control their own destiny. I would say out of all three teams, they probably feel the most comfortable about where they currently stand heading into those last two contests.
yeah, and if I were Norway and Switzerland, I would contribute for some training for Austria so that they can win against Germany. So because, as you said, Germany, well, when you look here in the papers, they should have 6 points, like very easy as. But Austria can still surprise us. So nothing is clear yet. So we shall see.
Absolutely. Great games that we had here on the broadcast today. We had some other results going on. We had Estonia and Ukraine playing against one another, Kazakhstan, Italy, Denmark, Great Britain. We'll kind of take a look here at how things have all unfolded. As you mentioned, with Group C, Norway taking that top spot and holding on to it, Switzerland holding on to the number two spot, Germany in number three, and our first team officially eliminated from playoff contention in Austria. But you also see Group B really taking shape. Slovakia with 9 points and Czechia right behind them. France with 6 points, just 1 point outside that last playoff spot. And then Group D started to get underway today, as we mentioned. How about Estonia picking up 6 points? All regulation wins for them today in their series. So a great start for them, as you get a look, a lot of new teams there that were not in this tournament in the past trying to earn their way into the top division for 2027.
Yeah, we shall see. We have many interesting games ahead. And of course, when you and I will meet next time on Saturday, we shall see very interesting games.
Absolutely. And that's a perfect segue, because, again, our next broadcast will be on Saturday. Myself and Peter will be back with you. USA facing off against Sweden, Canada facing off against Finland. It is always so entertaining when the big four are playing against one another, and you will not be disappointed coming into this broadcast. Remember, the same exact YouTube page, the World eHockey Association YouTube. You will find us there with our coverage beginning at 1945 CEST. The first games of Group A. And a big thank you, by the way, to Profane Kiss in the chat, the captain for Austria. She said the last games of that Group C will be happening on Monday. So if you do want to keep up with everything, make sure you go to sportsgamer.gg. Make sure you go to leaguegaming.com. You can find all of the stats, all of the standings, all of your information on this tournament to keep up with the games that we will not be broadcasting here on stream. But we have that to look forward to. We have a couple more Big Four games to look forward to Sunday. A lot on the docket, Peter. This tournament is off to a roaring start, and we have so much more fun left to go.
We have. And next time we see the other, I will bring my Swedish sweater. Do you have a USA?
I actually don't. I might have to bring one though. I might
Yeah,
have
I
to
think
find
so.
one
We have to
somewhere, man.
because it's going to be like a feud in the commentary box also. So yeah, I think so.
Let's see. I've got about 45 hours. We'll see if we can make that happen. Peter, first time I've ever been in the booth with you, man, but I had a blast. So fun getting to call these games, and we were treated to some really fun action here today. Before we sign off, what were some of your takeaways we saw from Group C and some of the results in those contests?
Well, a little disappointment from Austria, I would say. I thought maybe they would give more, but anyway, it's that's the way it is. Norway and Germany. Well, we saw 2 games, 2 wins, and from 1 win from each side. So it's no, I think it was 2 different games. So much we can say. I mean, from both teams. I mean, Austria and Switzerland, they had a lot of chances, but they felt not so. How do you say substantial or dangerous? While we saw Norway and Germany, that was a more class and more quality of it somehow. So. Uh, but it's nice to be back. It's nice to see that we still are alive in the e-sport arenas. So I'll take that as a win. We are back, and we are, I think, better than ever.
Back and better than ever. As once again, you see all the results from today's games on the bottom of your screen. 5-0 win for Switzerland, 3-2 overtime win over Switzerland over Austria in those 2 games. And in Germany and Norway split their series, a 2-1 regulation win for Germany in game 1, and that dominant 5-1 victory for Norway in game number 2. Peter, thank you so much for joining me in the booth. Had a great time with you. A big shout out to Sopoli, Lauri Enström, our amazing producer, the man who is the brains behind this tournament. As you mentioned, so cool to see all of the countries throughout the world coming together, playing against one another. This community, it has been craving something like this for so long, and we are not just seeing it take place, we are seeing it grow more and more by the year. So a big shout out to him for all of the work that he has put in. A big thank you to you guys for tuning in here today. Once again, make sure you join us on Saturday, 1945 CEST start time, USA versus Sweden, followed by Canada versus Finland. For Peter and Lauri, my name is Brandon Bigsby. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you right back here in less than 48 hours for our next broadcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night.
Good night.